Okay. They couldn't stop smiling on stage.
It is time. First off, happy birthday, Aaron.
It is now. Well,
Yes.
I mean, since getting to hang out with y'all.
Yep. Okay. Jacob. It was that same dream again. The one where you gave Feline that damn letter for Cordelia. After having caused yet another ruckus in Malatesta, you, Voltan, lurked in the bushes behind Amara's confectionery, waiting on Cordelia to have a break. But instead of your cheerful lover, it was her old man you encountered. "Cordy's a good girl, and she works harder than she ought to have to," he admonished. "Meanwhile, all you do is go looking for fights and bringing the guards rummaging around here, disrupting our honest work. I've got half a mind to..." As a fit of coughing doubled over the old man before your old friend from the orphanage, Feline, ran up to help him. "Hey, Mr. Amaro, let me run off the riffraff. You go take a breather inside, okay?" After helping the old man back inside, your floofy-haired friend shot you a glare and wagged a finger at you. "You've got a lot of nerve, Val. First, you got Sister Monica reprimanded by Mother Superior after she covered for your punk pranks. Now the city guard keeps coming around, harassing Cordy and me while we're working. It's bad enough you and I got turned out of the church hostel after that last incident at the magistrate's funeral, but don't you go ruining this too. I don't want to end up bunkmates with one of them butch gals."
Yeah, Failing, calm down.
"So, what's that in your hand then? A list of targets you want me to go egg with you?" Before you can react, Feline has snatched the letter from your hand and it looked like she was about ready to crumple it up before you stopped her.
Wait. Don't. That's actually for Cordelia.
All right, I'll give it to her, but you gotta quit causing all this trouble, man. It's not good for business, and she don't deserve this. She's not street tough like you and me.
I know. But I can't help it.
Well, you might want to order, cause she's not gonna stick around for this crap forever. I'm telling you, man. Just then, you found yourself needing to hide again as a wagon clattered up behind the confectionery. There were a few murmured words you couldn't understand and grunting and heavy thuds before you heard the cart depart once more. Upon poking your head back out, you could see Feline standing there next to two large kegs labeled syrup. Reading what might have been you're not sure if she was reading a waybill from the shipment or if she was perhaps reading the letter to your lover. "Fine," Feline didn't even bother turning around to you. "I'll give it to her, but just because you look like an angel doesn't mean you're good enough for her, right? Besides," and she went and hefted a keg of syrup up under each arm before looking over her shoulder at you. "You know, she's not nearly sturdy enough to keep up with your rebellious hobbies, right? She hasn't been hardened by the street life like us."
I know. I appreciate it. I know you love me so much.
Yeah, keep dreaming. Anyway, you know, if she tries to hang with us, she's going to get hurt. She's going to get hurt. She's going to get hurt. She's going to get hurt.
You broke it.
The sunny alley behind Amara's confectionery gave way to the cacophony of angry men below a crimson sunset. Yourself and others from Malatesta City, and smaller towns beside, had descended upon the town of Roselle off a tip that the local Don, Adrian Glovelli, had been conspiring with foreign investors to sell out the working families with a new resort that was just completed. Allegedly, the local workers had been passed over for migrants, yet while no one who apparently lived in the town was willing to join your ranks, that still wouldn't keep you and the rest of them from standing up for the locals, after all. Even an avalanche might only begin as a few loose rocks, but that's not to say one couldn't help to get an avalanche started, right? "Delia! Surround and block the carriage!" Voltan, why don't you describe how, or Jacob, why don't you describe how Voltan would have joined into this protest in the town of Rizal?
Oh, he would have. Bolton runs up, he grabs a few rocks, tomatoes, whatever he can, just trying to chomp at the carriage itself, trying to stop it and get the people inside to, just being part of the crowd itself.
I gotcha. All right. As you guys are getting your sticks and stones and eggs and tomatoes all ready for lobbing, from out of the Grand Hotel at the center of town, the object of your indignation appears. A frail-looking blonde elven woman, beautiful in a haughty sort of way. To her credit, she appeared to be keeping calm, even as she attempted to address the rest of you. But her attempts to speak over the din of the mob was fruitless. Try though she might, she could not make herself heard above your racket.
Get I want you.
What did make itself heard above the mob, however, was a gunshot and a scream. The pale stuck of the hotel was painted in gore besides the woman as one of her men fell. And in the next moment, all pretense of composure was gone. Screams and shouts echoed in the streets, punctuated by additional gunfire. You looked at the basket of eggs, tomatoes, rocks, and other debris you'd brought to hurl, and the refuse that some others carried, but amongst the crowd, you could see a few shadowy figures using their ranks to conceal themselves as they moved on the carriage like lines through tall grass. Murder was not what you had signed up for, and given the consternation on some of the other men around you, neither had they. Next to you, a burly blacksmith who had joined in says, "Fuck this, I'm out." And before he can make his way out of the crowd, you get splattered in red as a bullet transfixes his neck right in front of you, and he falls to the ground dead. All around you, bloody mayhem is ensuing.
Oh, shit!
Yeah. Shit is getting real.
Falcon ducks down, trying to keep himself as low and as small as possible.
Probably a wise idea. Yeah. So the thunder of carriage wheels was accompanied by the braying of frightened horses and the screams of panic. As you sought to get clear of the area to escape town, you could see dark shapes in windows and behind trees firing down the road at the retreating woman's carriage. As you did, the forms of a couple of women riding up to town, unaware of the carnage that was ensuing, became silhouetted to you against the sunset. Suddenly, one of them was sent reeling from her saddle as an errant shot felled the horse that she was riding upon. You could hear a familiar voice shout, "Cordy, no!" just before the fleeing carriage was upon them. The last thing you saw as you took off at a full run towards what was no doubt Feline and Cordelia was the carriage lurch as it hit something in the road before a bullet struck you from behind. Your cries a mere whisper from a punctured lung.
No.
Yep.
Not you.
Yep. All right, so with a shout, you wrench yourself awake with such violence you're hurled out of the bed you were sleeping on and onto the floor. The same as you had for the past 2 days since you regained consciousness. The slow measured footfalls of sturdy boots on the hallway floor outside your door stopped, and just outside your door in the small farmhouse in which you and Feline had been staying. There was a brief pause before 2 firm knocks. "Hey, kid, there's breakfast on the table. If you haven't knocked yourself out again, I've set some dress clothes that should fit you on the table outside the door." Did you want to respond to the individual? You recognize their voice as an old veteran by the name of Landry.
Landry, where's Cordelia? Where's Cordelia?
Get dressed, son. We're going to go see her.
Thank the gods.
I wouldn't thank him just yet.
What?
When you open the door after he's gone to have a look at whatever clothes he set out for you, you see a neatly folded stack of fine clothes, all black, with a white lily resting atop them.
No. You jest.
I wish I did.
No.
So you get dressed and make your way on down to breakfast, where you see Feline and Landry both dressed all in black clothes themselves. Did you have any questions or anything for him before you guys set out for the funeral?
I look at thing. This isn't real, is it? This is a joke. Y'all are kidding me. I know you kid all the time. You're kidding me, right?
I do, but no, this ain't funny. This ain't something I joke about. We was coming up to. She wanted to be a part of what you was about, what things that were important to you. She wanted to be there for you, and I know you told her to stay home in your letter, but she was a little girl, but she had a big heart. So I helped her swipe a couple horses, and we made our way up here to see what all the hubbub was, and we ran into some real shit. I'm sorry, buddy. Sorry.
Dalton storms out.
You hardly could taste Feline's cooking that morning. You don't doubt that it was good, but the thought of having to bury Cordelia and seeing her old man again would have made it stick in your throat anyway. For her part, Feline was as uncommonly quiet as her curly red locks were uncommonly well tamed. There were a few times when you saw her from behind, where you almost, seeing her hair straightened and her bodice laced up, you almost could have mistaken her for Cordelia's ghost. And how you got to Rosal's Cathedral from old man Landry's vineyard, you weren't really sure of that either. It wasn't a particularly long walk, but the idea that you put one in front of the other enough times to get you to the grassy graveyard with its mossy tombstones and honeysuckle-wreathed fences made you wonder if you were still dreaming. You vaguely remember the warmth of Feline's hand gripping your bicep, the sound of children playing with wooden swords, and a well-spoken woman dishing over pastries. Yet for all that random noise, you could hardly remember the priest's words or whether Mr. Amore, more bent and haggard than ever, if he cursed you or not. No, for all you remember was how ridiculous it was for one who had always been as sunny and warm as Cordelia, a girl with a smile and warmth big enough to brighten any room, to look so small and feel so cold within the pine box in which she now lay. If not for how pale she was and the unnatural angle of her neck, you might almost mistake her for sleeping. A sharp nudge in the ribs from Feline's elbow brought you back to the present, where the priest repeated the words, "If anyone else would like to speak on the departed's behalf, be it goodbyes or recollections, let them step forward." Looking up, you could see that there were already several white lilies that had been placed atop Cordelia's chest. Only yours remained in hand at this point.
Dalton steps up slowly, holding the lily in his hand, shaking as he places it on where she laid. You always will, my little white lily. This is not right. It's not right. You did nothing wrong today. No, this is not right at all. It's those damn aristocrats. They all deserve to pay.
Buddy. Feline just kind of comes up behind you and puts a hand on your shoulder, kind of trying to look up at your face as you're getting riled up.
I can't be here. I can't. Storms off. He didn't care who followed him. He storms out.
Understandable. Feline just kind of gives a sigh, and she goes over and she hugs old man Amori, who's just he looks like he's about to Cordelia's father looks like he's about to burst as you run out there, and Feline just kind of stays there and hugs him and says, You can't even hear what she whispers to him, as she just you just hear the father's plaintive behind you as you march off towards the cathedral or wherever it is that your feet are taking you. You're not even sure, really. Was there anything else that you wanted to say or do?
I'm actually just gonna run off. It's just like a little alleyway that has like full stuff, and then just start throwing it and just getting angry.
As you're
smashing things out of frustration. Oh. I scream out. I swear by all the nine. I swear by all the gods, I will have my revenge. They will pay for what they've done, taking my white lily.
As you make that oath to yourself or to whatever gods are listening, you feel it's almost like when you've had too much whiskey, the heat that just rises up within you, but you feel this immense surge of just heat and energy from within you, like flare up, almost like you can feel your face and your ears turning red with indignation. But when you look down in anger, like at your fists, which at this point you notice your knuckles are bloody from just punching bricks and walls and anything else that's come in your way, you can almost see a nimbus of power glowing around your fists, and you hear in your mind this voice that says, "We can help you. You will have your revenge, whether in this life or the next."
Good.
Did anyone need to take a breather before you move on with the next part?
Tissues or just me?
There are tissues over there too.
Yeah, no,
okay.
I've been making liberal use of the one I've got. Woo.
Definitely the happiest of all the intros.
Happy birthday to me.
I had to rehearse.
I'm just happy chipper.
Yeah, I had to rehearse this one a couple times because the first couple times I cried. So.
Yeah, well.
All right.
Thanks, Jacob, for bringing us down.
I don't even know the characters, and you made me cry.
Yeah.
Oh,
I heard all of y'all's, and I'm just like, oh, my.
I do have a picture of what Cordelia looked like in life.
Yeah.
Oh, she looks like Marisha Ray.
She was a very happy, pretty little girl.
She was very happy for you. My little white lily.
Yeah, let me upload those pictures to Discord for you guys here.
Okay,
It
let
might
me
be
see
easier to
that.
have a better look.
Let me see if I've gone raccoon.
What's that?
No.
Was that like his girlfriend, fiance?
That was his girlfriend / fiance.
Only slightly.
I bet you can't guess who killed her.
Well, we'll find that out later, I'm sure.
Aristocrats,
Mm-hmm.
something noble.
I bet it was an Anakin Skywalker situation. She died of a broken heart.
Probably.
She did.
Definitely.
She did. Definitely.
Definitely wasn't any wagon wheels. Definitely not.
Cordelia, I have the high ground.
You underestimate my power.
Don't try it.
Let's see, where did that leave off here?
Not what I meant to do. There we go. Yes, you darling.
Shimadani.
Also, I just now noticed that your shirt has D20 all over it, and I love it.
Yeah.
Yep, D20s. I'm sorry, but like the thought immediately crossed in my head where it's like Friday night versus Saturday morning. Just looking at the pictures of Cordelia.
Oh.
Brutal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Morbid.
Very.
All right. Let's see here. Aaron.
What? I didn't do it.
It's the following morning after you were fed some nice pieces of fatty pot roast through the bars of your cage by a very friendly, floofy-haired lady with red hair.
She's my pal.
Yes, and you have a guard who's guarding your cage alongside the hotel at the moment. Let me get the map back there.
What was the name of the lady with red hair?
Oscar.
Oscar. Okay. What a grouch.
Are you going to ask for his last name?
Meyer. But I also said, what a grouch.
Yes. Let's see. Back to the Cornelian Hotel.
They're in a different city, though.
They are.
Did you hear that? My guard's name is Oscar Meyer.
Yes.
What
Ooh.
a grouch.
Wow.
Did you have a wiener?
Pickle sings
He's
that
a
song.
wiener. He's a wiener.
He has
Yeah,
a very fancy whistle.
Pickle alternates between calling him a grouch and a wiener.
Let's get the chillins out of here for now. Ain't here.
Not no more. I got to boop him on the snoots though. I'm surprised that I didn't get like poked with a stick for booping him on the snoots.
I mean, it could happen. It could definitely happen.
Well, I meant like, by the guards or whoever being like, hey, no touch the chillins, you could eat their face off.
You can't trust a gremlin.
I'm not a gremlin!
I mean,
Yes.
I'm trying to find. Maybe I didn't upload this token yet. Okay, it don't matter. Let me get them added in here right now. Can you guys see them? You guys can see the map or not?
All I can see is part of the map. I see Pickle. I see a couple other people.
Okay, yeah, that's
But it
fine.
looks like it's shaded.
Yeah.
Yes, as it should be. Okay, good, cool. Then it's
And
working.
you see it.
Just adding some more tokens to the map here. So,
I want to turn the music down to their volume up because.
yes, I'll turn it down a little bit.
Whoa.
The previous song was very quiet. So,
He sounded like
Pickle.
a Murloc.
Who's Murloc?
He went, oh!
I've got some nitro cold brew Guinness in there. If you need the best of both worlds.
Sorry if it's too sweet.
That's okay.
Hmm?
Nitro cold brew cannons. Okay. I did not know those.
Yeah, it's just very good.
You did say you wanted caffeine and alcohol.
Mm-hmm. I will have more caffeine soon.
So, Aaron,
Ah,
it is the wee hours of the morning. The sun's light is just beginning to rise, and your guard the guard Oscar is looking rather sleepy, out tending your cage as he has been.
I am
When-
starfished.
Give me a perception check. Give me a perception check.
Okay, so my perception is a -1, like most of my other things.
Mm-hmm.
You got this.
You got it.
It's hiding. I can't see what it is. Okay, I can't tell what that was supposed to be, so
This little.
I don't know if I turned it or not.
No, you just pour it.
Well, if I pulled it straight out, then it's a 0, because it's an actual 1.
All right, you are apparently asleep at the moment.
Yeah.
So you're only woken up when you hear a "Whoa!" from outside. And
5 more minutes.
do you open your eyes to see what's going on?
You did it.
A little bit. You see the guard just kind of. He looks freaked out, and he's just kind of backing away from the cage further down the street. As you, with your eyes peeked barely open, you crawl over to the bars and kind of pick yourself up to look.
I lay just like against the bar, go.
And as you do so, you see the guard retreating down the street towards the town center. And looking at what he's retreating from, you see the biggest looking skunk that you have ever seen in your life just kind of brazenly making its way towards him. And as it gets closer, it kind of hisses at him.
Spray him!
And you see it starting to turn around. And he's like, no!
Do it!
And he just takes off running.
Yeah, you better run.
And as that happens, you hear a familiar psst from behind you, and you see a little goblin face with red hair and big pointy ears poke its way out of the bushes behind your cart and say, "Hey, I'm back.
Hey, Smokey.
How you doing?"
That was impressive right there.
That's Gloom.
Gloom.
Yeah, she's a druid.
A what?
D-R-U-D. Druid.
Drew. Okay. Don't know what that is.
You see the little skunk just kind of
I
like
thought it was
stand up
skunk.
on its hind legs, and it just kind of like, and there's a poof of smoke,
Whoa.
and in its place you see another goblin standing there. This one with a big mushroom cap hat that's wearing.
Oh.
Let me get them on the map for you.
That's weird right there. But cool.
Roll20 is not willing to upload. Again. Alright, I'll just post it to Discord then.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, that's her token. I want the artwork. Damn it. NPCs. Melon's handful. Gloom. Alright, so there's Gloom, and also repost Smokey in case some of you don't remember.
NPCs and notes.
Yes, and the NPCs and Notes channel. That's the wrong song.
Oh, come on, that was epic.
Yeah, that's for later.
Oh, you're so cute. Oh my god.
Alright, so that's Gloom and Smokey.
I couldn't remember their name until you started speaking, and I was like, that's what it was. Because it sounds like she smokes 60 packs a day.
Yeah. So the new goblin that you've not seen before, she just kind of clutches her staff and looks around. She says, I don't think that they're going to be fooled by that for very long. We should probably be really fast. Come on, Smokey. We can't stay here for too long. And Smokey says, yeah, cool your tits. Anyway, and she reaches her hand through the bars, and she's holding what looks like a big glass vial filled with something that's green and bubbling.
I'm gonna back away.
She said, no, you're going to need this.
What am I gonna do with that?
She says, well,
Don't you dare tell me to drink it.
you're going to chug this.
Fuck!
Yeah, so what this is going to do it's going to give you a tummy ache. But if you're too sick to fight, you're not going to be able to fight. But, and this is the important part, when you get really riled up, this is going to help you escape. Melon said so. She's smart.
Who the heck is Melon?
She's the boss.
Right, okay. So wait, it's gonna make me sick or it's gonna make me better? Which is it gonna do?
It's going to make you sick at first. They're going to think that you're dying, which you'll have a bad tummy ache, but it won't kill you. But when you get pissed off, and the important thing here is you need to wait for a thematically climactuous moment for this. So don't go getting riled up at just any old time. You need to wait until you got a good crowd and it's like stupendous looking or something. Where, you know, you got a big audience.
Maybe just like give me a sign when it's time for me to get pissed off?
You know, the timing on these things is kind of tricky. We can certainly try, but I can't give you any guarantees.
Right.
But look for an opportune moment when the person who has the key to your cage is very close at hand.
Oscar?
Who?
The schmuck that she just scared away.
I don't know who has the frickin' key.
Actually, I don't know who has the friggin' key. Who has the friggin' key?
Make a history check.
Well, I did a slightly better. That is a 2 minus 1, so 1.
Oh. You know that Glovelli's your master, but who has your key? You know, these humans all look the same to you. Racist.
Maybe take a minute to review the last section.
Oh no, I mean, I know
It's-
who he
it's okay,
is.
just don't know.
We just don't know who has the key. Well, I can always ask my pal.
Who's your pal?
Floofy hair.
Oh, the redhead chick.
The one,
other
yeah,
redhead
she
chick.
brought me the good food, yeah.
Oh, all right.
She's cool, so be
So-
nice to her.
All right. We shall spare her life in the incoming carnage, or wherever it is.
And the chitlins. You know,
She starts looking off, and she's like, "You got chitlins here at a place like this?"
the elf chitlins.
Oh, the younglings.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, they're fine. They're fine.
Okay,
We got no.
because they're pretty cool too.
We got no beef with them. Don't worry, we're not gonna kill nobody.
Good.
That's not our MO. We're not gremlins. We're goblins.
Yeah.
And you're one of us, kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I think I hear that guard coming back, so we're just gonna skedaddle.
Well, can I always tell him that the skunk is right behind him?
Gloom says,
You don't have to actually.
you can certainly try, but
You don't have to actually be there.
You see another poof of smoke, and there's just like this cute little owl sitting there, and its head just rotates all over the place, looking around nervously before it goes, woo, and flaps off into the night.
Okay, bye.
And Smokey says, "I think that's my signal. Gotta go."
Okay, when do I take this?
Well, when you normally have breakfast, I guess. See ya. And the bush, she goes back into the bushes, and they kind of shake a bit further and further down to the end of the hotel before you.
Starfish.
All right. So you go back to sleep.
Well, I don't actually like sleep. I was pretending to be asleep.
All right.
So Oscar's coming back?
Yeah, you see the guard coming back along with another guard who looks kind of irate, and he's got a bow out, and he's looking around.
What's that for?
Be very quiet. I'm hunting skunks.
How much have you been drinking?
I haven't had a drop. I'm a good guy. Never you mind.
Skunks, really? I ain't
The
seen no
other
skunks.
Oscar says, It was a huge skunk. It was the size of a freaking chair.
Okay, how much have you been drinking? Or have you?
I've been out here watching your cage, you smelly little gremlin.
I
haven't
ain't
had
a
anything.
gremlin.
Yeah, right. I bet that's what they all say.
I mean, I'm sure it is, but hey, at least I'm not seeing giant skunks that ain't there. I'm a Joker Valley.
Yeah. Like he'd listen to you.
I mean, you just told your pal there that you saw a giant skunk the size of a whatnot.
I did.
Yeah.
The other guy just is.
I just saw you then you're peeing yourself and running off for no reason.
He says, anyway, shift's up in about an hour. Try to hang in there and quit your drinking.
Skunk! Skunk!
Ah! They both jumped and
Make you look.
one of them just like Oscar just kind of like glares at you and he just kind of he like punches at your cage with the pommel of his short sword and he says, if you are important, little neck, my hands.
Yeah, you lose some fingers.
Keep dreaming, Toothy.
Don't make me get spicy.
All right, so they trundle on. Let us go to the next place.
She's so much fun. I apologize.
All right.
This is gonna be fun.
Yes. Okay. It has been 3 days since Cordelia's funeral. In that time, Feline has found work as a maid at the Carnelian Hotel, while Voltan has been clearing his head and strengthening his body.
Woo!
When Landry hasn't had Voltan helping him handpick and carry the prodigious grape harvest, the old veteran has been instructing Voltan in the proper combat techniques with his arms and armor, along with the discipline that comes with their maintenance. While Landry might have passed it off as not having anything better to do with the gear since his damn boys decided to defend people in court rather than in combat, it wasn't hard to discern that he felt a measure of pride in helping out the young ne'er-do-well to shape up. It was just after Voltan had finished taking today's lumps when he headed into town, still decked out in his borrowed armor, to visit Feline. After all, if Don Glavelli was having her feed good stuff to a goblin girl last night, maybe she could finagle some grub for him too. Unbeknownst to Voltan, elsewhere in Roselle, there were 3 other newcomers, these of various elven descent, who were finding their way around the resort town that now teemed with the retinue of wealthy patrons and their progeny. So,
Elf kittens.
let me see if I can actually get roll 20 to keep me logged in long enough to change the map.
Alright, so we're looking for the circus. There was also somebody here that we're supposed to talk to. Do you remember who that was?
The ticket taker, probably.
Well, Zabilna is in Witchlight at the circus that we're supposed to get tickets from to enter.
No, there was somebody here in the tent.
I don't remember that.
Well, Landry was he was an old adventuring companion of Magic Rozloff from back in the day. Maybe that's what you're thinking of?
Okay.
But we were never supposed to meet him, but we were just told his name.
Alright.
Landry?
Mm-hmm.
It's something about like if you happen to run into him or something, but
Yeah.
but not like a go see him do this.
What is this house here? That should not be there. The tavern has moved into an undesired location. Get back there, you.
Oh, this character's gonna be so much fun. You brought this chaos on yourself.
It is true.
You've been talking me into it for years.
Alright, so let's see. Where would you guys be? So I will start off with placing Pickle on the map. We were trying to anyway.
Cage at a hotel on an island in the middle of the sea.
Why did Nick not
Can you
go?
swim?
Our
No.
hotel. In the middle
Oh,
of-
No,
Toad
goblin
is not
can't swim.
next. Alright.
At least I don't think I can.
Unless can't swim.
I don't think I can swim.
Gremlins can't, but
Let me zoom out on the map.
So
So
at least
if
they
she
multiply.
floats,
That's right. Yeah, you don't want to get them wet.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm trying to see where
don't feed me after midnight.
where's my mouse cursor? I can't see it.
Hold on.
It moves somewhere.
Move slowly this way. You're right there.
Oh, okay, there I am. All right. It's so tiny I can't see it.
You can make it bigger.
No comment. No.
Wow.
What she said.
The
No.
mouse.
Yeah.
Alton's the kind of guy that, like, you know, is going to learn Vietnamese before they learn, like, Spanish or French or Chinese or something.
Okay, I think that's a good scout for the map.
I mean,
All right.
I was the girl that was living in Texas and was told to take
Lennon-
Spanish and
Lennon
took
got
French,
plays my
so.
mind.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see.
Partially because I wanted to, and partially because I knew it would irritate my dad. I love you.
So Vault Tan's coming into town on the north side, and we'll have the others coming into town on through the woods down here.
Where is Voltan?
Mr. Van Ito,
And we are in
Ms.
Russia.
Val Ina,
Yeah.
and Mr. Zal Rick. The ranger with no sense of direction.
How do we
They don't
wind
know
up
that
with
yet.
these?
I've not gotten
Very,
lost yet.
very soon.
We had a rogue who wasn't a rogue, and now we've got a ranger who can't range. I'm teasing, I love you.
I know exactly where I'm going.
Other way.
Is he any darker? Dimmer?
Okay,
Yes.
so let's see. Who should we pick up with first? We've got Voltan coming into town on one side. On the exact opposite of town, we've got the trio of Elfkin.
Rollies. I don't know.
You don't know? All right.
That's why I said rollies.
All right. Jacob, roll a d20.
Roll a d20.
Aaron, you also roll a d20.
Don't be
Oh, well, actually, no, not Aaron. Kelsey.
I was gonna say, I already went.
Kelsey, roll a d20.
Did you hear 7?
Okay, so Valena beat you. So we shall start off with Valena, Zalric, and Van Ito.
Okay.
All right, so as you guys are getting into town,
And where are we in town?
you're on the south side, coming into the road, just exiting the trees.
So tiny. Okay.
And
I
dark.
got you. Yeah.
It's a big map. So I think each cell on the map is about 30 feet across.
Why is it so
Okay.
dark?
Yeah, it's like dimming over here.
Oh, is it dim?
It's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah, from what it was earlier.
Wiggle the mouse?
It's probably got vision enabled or something. You see.
Well, it's not dim here.
Let me see if I can figure this out. Dynamic lighting is off, so it should be full bright.
It's just on the TV.
Not touchscreen.
No, it's
I
not.
know that. Just, you know.
Is it really dim?
Yeah.
Like you need to just wiggle the mouse on the left side.
Yeah, that's kind of dim. That's strange. Is the map dim on your side as well, Kelsey and Jacob?
No, it's fine.
Yeah, it's
I'm gonna
fine.
look from here.
It's fine on my side.
So it's the TV being punk. Where is my
Hey, there's
note?
Errol Gnarl.
Oh, no.
I think John
Yeah,
asked his little.
Eleanor's here too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why it keeps popping up that way.
Anyways,
Oh, you
good.
can
Let's
fix
do
it.
it.
Yeah, no, I gotta change it down.
It would be funny if Eleanor, if this were like a show or something, Eleanor was like, man,
There we go.
just standing around the back.
They got so many handsome chants.
Why did his name change though?
I'm not sure why it's so
That's
dim.
fine. Let's go.
I'm not connected to the internet. Well, you guys can play with the remote. See if you want to figure it out.
Nah, it's fine. Let's go.
It's probably
fine.
when you
Good.
start moving stuff around,
Yeah.
it'll.
All right, let me try and move the map closer to the middle and see if that helps. If I can see it.
Move slowly, we'll be able to tell you where the mouse is.
Oh, well, yeah, that's good. That's good. I can see the mouse right here.
Oh, yeah, right there.
Yeah, won't let me move it over any further. Yeah, sorry. It will not let me do it. Huh. Yeah, I got nothing. Alright, sorry.
Alright.
Moving on. Let's go.
If I need to, I can always look over there.
Alright. So you guys enter from the, after
Yeah, trying
having
to.
walked for most of the morning from Magic Roslov's pumpkin farm, you emerge from the trees into the little town of Roselle, which up until fairly recently had been a fishing and farming community up until a certain Venito's mother partnered with Don Glovelli, the local lord of this area, of the Roselle hinterlands, to transform the town over the past couple years into what is now a resort for wealthy nobles. Included in these renovations is sort of a nod to the locals. They also helped in getting the cathedral rebuilt with the help of some mages, as it burned down a few years ago, killing a few people at the time. Why did the music get so loud all of a sudden?
So the cathedral, who's that for?
It's a pantheon, so it's to all the gods.
Which one's the cathedral?
The cathedral is this one.
Oh, okay.
The big one.
Yeah, because I would imagine the other one across the plaza would be like the town hall, or
So the one right here is the Carnelian Grand Hotel,
That's what I
okay,
thought.
that's okay.
which is where Feline works and where Pickle has been notionally staying.
Kind of.
At least in a cage on the
As they-
outskirts of the property anyway.
Not by choice, but
Not by choice.
Oh.
Yes. So as you guys make your way up into town, let me move you up there.
what do we see along our way?
Along the way, you can see and hear the conversations of, there are many nobles in town who are milling about. A few of them seem to recognize you and tip their hats to you as you go. And several more are kind of admiring your colorful as well as your monochromatic friend who are following behind you. As you get up into the center of town, however, you see one person in particular who you recognize and who recognizes you quite well. Let me see if I can find their artwork here.
Well, Benito, you seem to be recognized and well known around here.
I think I remember my mom saying something about
We don't know who it is
this
yet, you guys.
town.
Let me see. Oh, I've got a picture here. I'll put it in Discord.
I was just everyone like nodding at him and waving to him as we walk down the street.
I missed that part. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So, just to kind of like paint some of the picture, so where Helena before was kind of like in this like sort of autumn state, you've seen her shift now twice, and right now she's sort of sporting green hair with like flowers that are growing out of it, and it's actually kind of skipping around as you go around town, just kind of like maying at everything, and then just kind of like going up to random people and like tossing flower petals at them.
Oh my gosh!
Aw, she's being adorable.
I mean,
No? Oh, I thought you were commenting.
no,
on that.
it's commenting on how cute she is.
She's being cute.
Oh.
Like throwing flower petals at people and skipping around.
Oh, she was coming in the street.
Yeah.
Goodness, it's overpowering.
Let's see. I'm trying to find.
Pip catches one of the petals as she's throwing them and just kind of gnaws on it.
Snacks.
Oh, here we go.
Wants to know why his mom was throwing away his snacks. I mean, he was with the, I think it was with the group that ran
It's
the
nature's
before.
potato.
All right. And these are. So you recognize Arvinder Hloknar, who is an ambassador from the nation of Ilmarand.
Okay.
That's an elven nation far to the north. The most powerful elven nation in Elsmar, as it happens to be. And Following along behind him are his son Isaac, a little blonde-haired boy, who looks like he's probably about maybe 8, 9 years old. And bopping along at his side is his younger sister, Liliana, who has a much darker complexion, and more like her father's, and green eyes. And she's absolutely a gorgeous little itty bitty, but she looks like she's maybe like 6 years old, 7 tops.
Yeah.
And upon seeing you, Arvinder says, "Ah, Lord Ambritos." Your last name is very hard to pronounce.
Ambitiose.
Ambitiose?
Ambitiose.
Ambitiose. Ah, Lord Ambitiose. I missed just seeing your mother here. It's good that at least one member of your clan was able to make it. How fare you?
Absolutely fine. It has been quite an adventure, but everything is turning out very well for me and my family.
Oh, well, I'm glad to hear that. I heard that your stepfather, Paolo Orsini, was wrecked by a fatal heart attack a few days ago during the tumult at your family's estate in Malatesta. I'm very sorry to hear about that.
Oh, yes, it was quite a sad experience.
You seem quite broken up by it, I can tell.
He was a very dear man. He was a lovely man.
Boots is getting deep in here.
That would be a nat 20 that I just rolled. He just kind of nods along. He says, "Tell me, have I introduced you to my daughter and my stepson before? This is Liliana and Isaac."
No, I don't believe I've had the pleasure before. You have some gorgeous children, Matt.
Oh, thank you. Liliana's mother was quite the beautiful woman, and Isaac comes from good stock as well.
Yes. I see. Yes, they are both very beautiful children.
Yes. Liliana kind of looks up at you and says, "You're kind of weird."
We're all a little different in our own way. What do you mean, precious child?
You don't seem genuine.
Gold star for that vocab word.
Isaac just kind of turns and says, "Lily?" She's like,
I like her.
He goes, "You're a very smart girl."
He's genuine about that.
Yeah. She looks up at her father and she says, "Father, can we? I want to go visit Alexis and Alis and Vanna. You can talk with your grown-up friends anytime. I never get to see them." He just kind of smiles and reaches down and pats her on the head. He says, Why don't you and Isaac run along and see if you can find them? They're probably back at the hotel having some pastries right about now."
Or sticking their noses in my cage.
She says, "Okay," before the two little chillins go running off, and as they do, Lily just kind of turns around, looks over her shoulder, and goes, "Mm."
And he just returns the gesture.
Arner just kind of claps a hand on your back and says, so this your mother's great gambit that she has going on here. It seems like it's turned out quite nicely. The bay has been lovely for the regatta, and the chefs that she managed to find for the hotel put quite a number of smiles on the faces of the patrons thus far. It's a shame she couldn't be here for the ribbon cutting."
He's gonna look around and say, yes, of course. I was very happy with how she decided to do all this.
Invested quite a lot of Orsini's money into this, didn't she?
Yeah, there's always more to go around.
You always were so humble. tell me, who are these, who are your very attractive and colorful friends that you have in tow? They do not look like they're from this plane of existence, if I do say so.
Ah, of course they are. This is the, is it who am I with? I'm with, Kelsey, right?
So, Valena and Zalric.
This is Kelsey, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Kelsey, alright. So this beautiful young lady here is Valena.
With that, Melon is going to dance up. She twirls a bit with some flowers, and as she does, she's going to produce a flower crown and present it to the gentleman in front of her.
Yes.
So, Ambassador Arvinder puts one hand behind his back and genuflects in gratitude. He says, "Why, thank you, my dear. That is a very generous gesture." He, as he takes it from you, he gives a deep inhale of the blossoms and he says, "Now these are some aromas I've not partaken of in quite some time." And before he puts it on his head, he says, "Young lady, you're bearing. You're from the Feywild, I take it, are you not? And the Eladrin, right?"
Oh, yes. Of course, yes. I'm certainly glad that you like my flowers. They look really pretty on you.
Oh, thank you. I'm sure you could make anyone beautiful with such druid craft. Go ahead.
This is my friend. She's going to gesture over to her right.
To Zalric,
Zal.
the monochrome.
Yes.
Yep.
This is her manservant, Zippy.
Zippy.
Shots fired.
Watch it. Fall.
This one. I don't know how long you've known each other, but this one,
I will keep an eye on him.
you might need to.
Zalric. Nice to meet you, sir.
It's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Arvinder Loknar.
Glad to
Zal,
meet
do
you,
you
sir.
want a flower crown too?
I think he'd look dashing in one. He could use a little bit of color in his composure.
If you deem it necessary, Valena.
Do you want lavenders this time, or do you want roses?
We'll go with the lavender.
She's going to make a lavender
Very
crown.
soothing. Very soothing.
I need it sometimes.
So as you guys go milling about town, you end up encountering some other nobles that you've known, and let's see. After a while, you eventually find your way into the main square of town over here, where you can see the Grand Carnelian Hotel on the opposite side of the street. It's the whole building is in tannish white stucco. It's got a red clay tiled roof to it. The downspouts and the gutters are copper, and they're still actually copper. They haven't oxidized yet to take on that greenish hue that they will within the next decade or so. And you can see that there's servers veritably waltzing about as they deliver food and drinks to the wealthy patrons who are dining there this day.
Anita's just standing there staring on. This is nicely done. Where?
Pravama's got good taste. What can I say?
Yes.
Is this your first visit?
Yes. Yes. I have not been fortunate enough to come by this beautiful place yet.
More of a Malatista man, I take it. You like the big city lights.
That is where I once considered my home.
That's fair. Cormair seems a bit too tame for your tastes. Your mother's as well. I can't say that I blame you. Malatista is arguably the most powerful nation, and it stands to reason that her capital would be quite the hubbub who's got from any man who's got hot young blood such as yourself.
It was sufficient. It was a beautiful, beautiful city.
As you let's see, Pip pokes their head out of Elena's backpack and looks around. So you see, as Valena, you can see Pip poking his head out of your pack, out of your pocket, and being curious. But to anyone else who's actually paying attention to Valena, which is kind of hard not to because she's like colorful and gorgeous and whatnot, and she's not droning on about herself like a certain other pointy-eared person. You see what looks like a little tiny garland just kind of float up out of her pocket, rotate about a few times, and then this little tiny flower garland just kind of levitates back down into her pocket again. It's very strange.
Kid, you don't need to be shy. Come on, you want to see the town?
Let's sit the little head back down.
The ambassador kind of cocks his head and says, "What does it have in its pockets?"
Oh, this is my friend Pip. Pip, say hi.
Anyone that can see Pip just looks like he's chewing on something.
No one can see Pip.
Yeah.
Just his teeny tiny little flower crown.
She's gonna take the little flute baller for the rest of you guys. Just take this like empty air pocket with the little garland and just plop it on her shoulder.
Oh, isn't that a nice trick? Very, very good, very good. He says, looks like my daughter and her stepbrother have found the companions they were seeking. And up ahead, you can see that there's a bunch of people surrounding a cage that's been placed atop a wagon, parked right off the not really balcony, off the patio, where all these wealthy uppity-ups are having their brunch. And there's all these little kids standing around. Some of them, about half of them look like they're elven. And then the other half are some older-looking human kids, like young teenagers, who are kind of like shouting and being rude. And one of the blonde elves, a girl, she sounds like she's giving them a lip and almost looks like she's wanting to fight them, but the others are just kind of like holding her back. And as you're wondering, like, what in the world is going on there? Voltan, from where you've sauntered into town, you've been making your way towards the big hotel, which is where Faline works, and
begrudgingly.
Yeah. As you've been making your way through the streets, there are fancy pants people all over the freaking place here. Like up in their little apartments they've been renting on Spell B&B and whatnot. Spell B&B. And they seem to be delighted with themselves. As you walk down the street, you can see that the harbor, which used to be full of, a couple of years ago, used to have lots of fishermen bringing in their hauls and whatnot, now has a number of tall-masted, very luxurious-looking yachts docked there, as more of them are sailing out on the pristine blue waters in the sea beyond. And it all seems like a whole lot of hubbub for what used to be a pretty small working class town not too terribly long ago. But as you continue making your way onto the tavern, was there anything that you particularly had wanted to do other than try and get over to the hotel and see if you couldn't get Faline to hook you up with some grub?
No, I would assume after he did some training, he's famished. Old man could put a whoop on him.
Yep. Well, you head over there, deciding to take the back way, where there's a bit less traffic and a bit more grass and some fields still, even this far into town. And as you get over there, you make eye contact with Feline as she's serving some tables, and she kind of flashes you a smile, and it's just like, kind of does the whole, I don't know what to tell you right now. So she kind of like motions her way up towards the clock tower over at the steeple of the cathedral across the street, and she kind of mouths the words noon, which you're able to make out just because you guys are so familiar with each other. So you take that to mean that she'll try and meet up with you maybe over near the cathedral at noon. So as you head over that way,
I just kind of put my hands up and just kind of like, why?
Yep. All right.
Hungry.
Yeah.
And then walk off.
Poor baby. Well, as you get into the town square, you hear this awful racket off to your right as you enter into the town square. And looking off to your right, you see a whole bunch of children and teenagers, and they're all mobbed about this this wagon that has a large metal cage atop it, and there's like shouting and making noise and whatnot. And from further across the courtyard, you can see a number of elven nobles, or at least a couple of them are, that are kind of have consternated looks on their faces, and they're making their way over. One of them, he looks like he's, just probably about your age, well dressed, looks kind of haughty, blonde guy. He's alongside of him is another elf who's clearly older and more refined. He's got like flowing burgundy robes, dark hair, a nice tan. And along with them are a seeming contradiction, like polar opposites. There's this, he's ruggedly handsome, an elf, but everything about him looks monochrome. His hair's white, his skin is kind of on the dark side, his armor and his gear are all dark. He just kind of stands out next to his companion beside him, who she's got really vibrant hair with flowers growing in it, bright smile. Her clothes are, colors of rose and pink and green, like she's spring incarnate. And they're all heading over to see what the fuss is about around this cage. Did you want to see what all the hubbub's about, or?
Yeah. This huge crowd is kind of making him curious. He would be more inclined to be like, you know what, I'm just going to wait. But then, at the same time, his curiosity is getting the better of him.
All right. So as you guys,
Same as Zoe. He's kind of curious as to what's drawing the crowd.
So as you guys get over there, you can see a whole gaggle of little chillins. And let's see if Roll 20 is still responding to me, or if it's timed out again. So, stop. No, it's moving everywhere. Stop it. Oh God, I think it's screwed up or something. What is it doing? So, have you guys ever had this problem where Roll20 wants to try and move the map, pan the map all over the place while you're trying to drag tokens around?
Sometimes.
What do I do about that? Okay, if I zoom out a little bit, it seems to stop.
I usually have to zoom out.
Okay.
If it's too close, it almost catches everything.
Yeah, that was really weird. So.
Yeah, because you were moving Valina's token there after you zoomed out a little bit.
Yeah, it was kind of strange. Alright, let me just get all these guys in here.
Getting the band together.
It's gonna be a shit show.
Zalric. Where's Zalric?
What? Something show.
There's Zalric. There's Valana.
be troubles right about now.
There's
You can take it.
Benito.
I wasn't gonna ask. Depending on the time of
Look,
day, I
look,
might
look,
ask.
there's a little bit of a crowd starting.
A little bit of a crowd.
A little bit of a crowd.
Oh, stop moving. No. It's doing it again.
Depending on the time of day.
Yeah.
What?
This is
those-
fed with my breakfast.
Yeah, so it should be kicking in really nice
I don't-
here around lunchtime.
Stop moving.
We'll see. I'll ask.
Sounds like classic entertainment.
Okay, let's see. What am I missing
Yeah,
here?
the shit hit the fan. Literally.
So much shit, so much fans.
Let me do a few tricks of old and then some new tricks are very
Let's see.
versatile. No copyright? No, it's from Gypsy, the musical. Or, yeah, musical.
Yeah, it's.
I'm not saying that.
God damn it.
Midler.
Roll 20?
Gypsy Rose Lee.
Yeah, roll 20 disconnected me again as DM. So,
How very dare you?
what just happened on your screen?
I don't know. Uploading.
Uploading something. And it's darker now than it was before.
I don't understand what just
Uploading
happened.
file. This may take a few minutes depending on the speed of your connection.
It's just-
Please wait.
Let's take a 5-minute break while I figure out what the fuck happened to my computer.
Okay.
I'm gonna check on my laundry.
Yeah, it just disconnected my monitor. That's rude.
Just got.
It is rude. How rude.
What the fuck?
How rude. Said Stephanie Tanner.
Extend.
Did I?
No, that was weird. It switched from I guess it switched from extend to duplicate for some reason. That was uncalled for.
For the reason it's off now?
Let's take options.
I'll move some cords by.
Maybe you just need to pull a power cord on this thing and plug it back up.
I don't know. It moved that map back onto my monitor here when it screwed up.
Well, we can't just use roll 20 on our computers. I think everybody's got that.
Yeah.
So then we need to do it that way. Oh,
Oh, there it went.
and
back
the
up.
color's normal again.
And it's back bright and normal.
Yeah.
Fucking computers, man.
I'm gonna run to the restroom while you're getting that back open then.
I mean, seriously, the damn thing should just work right the first time.
Okay, let's try and. This is super annoying with roll 20 doing this.
Why does it keep logging you out?
I don't know. It's not doing it on Edge though. It's just doing it on Chrome. I'll have to hit Reddit up or something to see what's going on. Okay, let's see. Where was I? There's a crowd gathering. Okay, Valena's there. Benito. Where is... He's too big. Alright. I'll be back.
I'll try. It was perfect. They were still toasty. Did you know or not know that this place was connected to your mother?
No, he told me it was. Yeah.
Okay, so I meant like,
Benita though?
yeah,
He
because you seemed a little
he
like,
probably was told. He probably knows. He's probably been a part of what's going on around him, so he should know.
you just seemed a little like, uh-oh. So I was like,
No, he should.
surprise!
He should know. He should know what's going on.
Oh, my clothes are dry.
Woo! Yes. Do we need to go ahead and put them in the car so we don't forget about them?
You read my mind. Oops, sorry, I stabbed you.
No, I saw it. Okay, I will take them and stick them in the trunk or
Thank you. I was gonna help carry them.
No, but I will find a coffee cup here and make
This side.
some coffee.
Coffee is a good idea. I like that.
Yeah, I will heat up the Keurig. Well, it's already heated up. I'll put some more water in there though.
How do you change which character you're in roll 20?
I should.
The little drop down menu on the right with the yep.
Yep, and then you click the character.
There you go. All right. Thank you.
Huh? This is so much fun.
Anybody? Yeah, it is. Anybody in the bathroom?
Nope, go ahead. That was louder than I intended it to be.
Should we cut up some cake for you?
Sure, as soon as Landon's out, I'm gonna use the bathroom now.
Okay.
And John is putting my sack of clothes in the car
Okie dokie.
so that we do not forget them.
During our intermission here, we're going to serve up some of the lovely Erin's lovely cake.
Birthday cake!
I got whipped topping. Because I figured it's more better.
Thank you, because
I've heard that buttercream is the devil.
store buttercream, yes, it makes my tummy sick. Isn't it so cool?
Alrighty.
Yeah, I've like homemade buttercream.
Do you want a corner or middle or what? What you want?
We'll go with the little corner.
Corner? Okay.
Now the next most important thing is to remember to take them into your house.
The buttercream?
The clothes.
Yes, and the clothes.
Oh, yeah, that. Pretty sure this server's like 50 years old. And I don't mean me. Alright, there you go. Forches are in here.
Torches.
Forches.
I'll show you the other one.
Do you want a corner or a middle?
No.
That makes it easy.
Oh, I guess I should take this part too.
Maybe. Just a wee bit.
Yeah, usually I use floss to do this.
Floss.
Yes. I use floss to cut cake.
I've never heard of that before.
Mhm.
That's cool.
Put that in just.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just keep sliding.
Are these coffee cups
You can use those. My dad was like, "Why didn't they use any of the mugs I put out?" And I was like, "Because we didn't know."
We thought they were there for looks.
Yeah, it's like, what's the matter then? But they're polite. What can I say?
Yes, I was.
Landon here.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know if I was raised this way, but it's just kind of in my head to not touch things that I don't know whether or not they're meant for use.
Right?
Right.
Especially in somebody else's house.
That's like the
You don't want to use the guest soap.
well that's like
Tops.
I think it was Everybody Loves Raymond when somebody put out like seashell and decorative soap and then he used them to wash his hands and they were like, "Why would you do that?"
You're a fool.
I'm gonna go back real quick.
Okay.
Potty.
This cake is, the way they do this is very slippery.
That cake's pretty good.
Ah.
Yeah.
The 10 ounce.
Oh, that's my dad's gigantic mug that he got for Christmas. That's like 18 ounces.
Okay, well then, good. 12 ounces, 12 ounce.
He may be offended if somebody else uses that much. He
well.
just got that for Christmas.
Well, it's starting to brew. I will change it to something. I can change it to something else.
here.
It's already brewed up. It's not dessert.
I got another one. You can use that. This one. This is nice.
Okay.
That's like
I'll
14 ounces.
pour it in and then rinse it out and leave it over here to dry.
Okay. My sister went to great pains to get that form for Christmas.
Remember Rattle? Okay. PSU? Yeah, I think I remember him saying something about them when they were playing this stuff.
Yeah.
Is that Pennsylvania State? No.
Penn State University.
Penn State, yeah. No, Pennsylvania.
Cake.
Oh, that's. Oh, dang. That was Aaron's. Never mind.
What have you done? You greedy bastard. Let's see, do I have everyone on the map who's supposed to be on the map? I'd serve you guys some cake through the webcam, but I don't think it'll work.
Send them virtual cake.
Virtual cake.
The cake is a lie.
No.
Not this cake, though.
I didn't
Oh,
use
okay.
your fork, but I did start to take a piece of your cake, and then I thought, wait, that's not mine.
Oh.
So.
But he sneezed on it.
All over everything. So much sneezing.
He was just getting it ready for me.
Yeah, it was. Your first binder's ready. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
So thoughtful.
So thoughtful.
Let's see, where is the lead?
Alright.
I told you that when we got ready to take our bio break and everything, it would be perfect cake time.
Yeah, true.
It worked out.
It's logged me out again already. It hasn't even been 5 minutes.
That doesn't make any sense.
Doing
That was
that?
silent.
No, it's retarded.
I have never heard of that before.
Fuck.
Delicious. Caramel.
God damn it, we're
White
20.
silk. Oh, that sounds good.
Just like you like it.
Pumpkins.
Let me try.
Just like you like
Let me
this
see
women.
if Edge works any better. Let me open up another instance of Edge. And I'll see if Roll20 works any better than that.
No.
What browser are you using?
I was using Chrome.
I wouldn't know. I always use Firefox for it. And I don't ever have any issues.
Chrome and Edge are the two that they say are officially supported.
They're basically the same thing.
Yeah. Launch game.
Sure. Okay.
Seriously pissing me off. No, I don't want to start the tour of outplaced coolers. Let's put Colleen out to the patio.
One of these days I will be ambitious enough to try and make the corpse thing.
Is there something special about doing it?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
But I intend to find out. I do know how to make buttercream. Because I learned that when I worked at Michael's. Because we could take free classes.
Not at mine, different levels.
Yeah. I saw you had your store over there.
The one at Park Road, actually.
It wasn't buttercream.
But I learned that, to make it with actual butter, They taste a lot better.
Buttercream icing?
Yeah. And you add meringue powder to it. So it's basically literally butter, powdered sugar, and a little bit of meringue powder. That's buttercream. The reason that stores, though, generally tend to make it with shortening or Crisco, because of the color. If they want that snow white color, they will use shortening.
Happy birthday!
Thank you! I was hoping I'd get to see you.
Well, if you're over here on Sunday, you might get to see Marissa and Jamie as well. They're coming over for the Eagles game, Mike.
Okay.
Which we can't get, so you may have to help me activate the NFL channel or something.
Finagle.
I'll reimburse you, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Whatever, man. There, that's good.
Let's see.
Chew carefully on the little pearls. I'm coming to get my hug.
All purple. Gee, I couldn't have guessed.
All right.
And sparkly. This is actually the tiara that Michael got me eons ago.
Cool.
Thousands of years ago.
Because I...
Worth it for real diamonds.
Well, have you checked? It might be.
I don't think so.
No. I don't need them to be real. I just need them to sparkle.
Yes.
Because
Double check. Maybe they belong to Empress Josephine.
Because I had said, one of these days I'm going to start wearing tiaras for my birthday. So he got me a tiara on Valentine's Day for my birthday.
Yes. All right. Jacob, Kelsey, are you guys back yet?
Yeah, I've been back.
Okay. How was the cake?
Fantastic.
All right. Kelsey, are you back?
She may not be. She said she was having some morning sickness.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn it.
It's not morning.
I was going to say, I was going to quote one of the
Morning
characters.
sickness happens. Oh, you've had a child, you know.
Morning sickness becomes afternoon sickness and evening sickness.
I was going to
It's
quote...
it's all day sickness.
I was gonna quote the one of the characters from the movie Burlesque. Going, why do they call it morning sickness if it hits you at every time of the hour of the day?
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's the way Susan
Down
was.
with the sickness.
So that's what that noise is. Throwing up. Sorry, David Draymond. I actually do like that song.
All right, so Emmett's gone to bed. We're just waiting on Kelsey to get back.
9 a.m.
So, Jacob, while you were coming through town, you could see, and meandering about earlier, you could see various shenanigans that were going on with, like, the nobles' kids. They were, some were off, like, climbing in trees and running through other people's gardens and whatnot. Some of them were, like, chasing after each other, screaming with wooden Worcester swords that would be used during training practice and whatnot. So, you know, general chillins running amok. Their parents not really minding them.
Question.
Yes.
Parents not taking care of them because they're
rich.
Have I had
Rich.
my breakfast?
You are not getting your character was not getting breakfast today because Don Glovelli wanted you good and hungry for your match. So that's why you got fed extra well last night, because you weren't going to be getting fed today.
Well, Smokey said to take the potion around the time I would be having my breakfast normally.
Right. So you would have probably taken it by now because it's past breakfast and into brunch at this point.
So theoretically, by now, Pickle is miserable.
Pickle is quite miserable, which we'll get to As soon as Kelsey gets back.
Just wanted to make sure so I knew what was going on when I was unexpectedly panned to.
Mm-hmm.
And go, you're in the headlights.
What's okay?
Mm-hmm. These pieces are deceptively large.
Yeah.
Here.
It was-
They're taller than what they look
Hey,
like.
Dad, you want some cake?
Yeah, I'll take some more insulin.
It's
You're-
very, very
you're-
tasty.
Your other mug is right there by the.
Yeah, somebody finally made use of it.
No.
Well, almost. I saw someone getting ready to use it, and I was like, oh no, not that mug, anything but that.
So he
It's
cleaned it
over here.
out.
I cleaned it and it's in here now.
That's okay, John.
I was alarmed. I was like,
John's a good buddy. I don't mind.
yeah, but Marissa would. Marissa would be wrathful.
No, anyone who respects Penn State can use Penn State.
I don't think in this
Maybe
one.
I'm making an
It
assumption
will be
since he's not wearing blue,
It
like
that's-
Landon. You know,
it will be respected while I'm drinking.
that's
coffee
not
from
Penn
it.
State blue, though.
I was using the fancy snowflake mug because I love snowflakes.
Oh, okay.
I got snowflake necklaces.
Kelsey has returned. Kelsey has returned.
Hi, Kelsey. Hope you're
Sorry, y'all.
No,
It's-
you're
it's
fine.
It is completely
If
understandable.
I knew I was going to have cake, I would have used that same needle.
It's just like night and day.
Yeah.
It happens.
Well, as it turns out, Kelsey is not the only one who's feeling sick to her tummy right now. Because within the cage that is being mobbed about by anxious and hyper and some of them screaming, others shouting children, poor little Pickle is curled up in a ball, clutching her stomach and groaning, and she looks like she is. I mean, she was green to begin with, but she's somehow
That's
like
what Zarek was going to
she's
say.
I'm like-
turned a different. She's turned a paler shade of green.
Get out of my brain.
I was like, you look a bit greener than normal.
I
She
look
has
like more
turned
of
a
an
paler
ashy
shade
green.
of green.
I wonder what green and purple, what
And
combination
acid shade of
color
green?
does
Brown.
that make? Well, I know blue and orange make brown.
Dad,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so Pickle is doubled over in her cage, and there's
Ball.
the guard who's standing out here, which is not Oscar Mayer anymore. It's a different guard who's relieved him. His name's Frank.
Furter. My guards' names are Oscar Mayer and Frank Furter.
Yes.
What?
Are we over
weird.
there yet?
You live in Sunday?
Yeah. So you guys have approached.
We share a brain cell.
Well, who's Orville
And-
Rettenbacher?
Orville Rettenbacher. I love it.
John.
Orville did that.
That's the guard that takes the third shift.
So,
Poor little Pickle is curled up on the bottom of her cage, clutching her tummy as she turns a paler shade of green. And surrounding the cage, on one side you have Alice and Alexis and Liliana and Isaac. On the other side of the cage, it's a number of teenage human boys who seem to be the sons of some other nobles that you guys don't recognize who are here, and they keep trying to poke at Pickle with sticks and stuff. While Alice, she has a wooden waster in her hand. She keeps getting in their faces, smacking their sticks away whenever with her wooden sword whenever they try, and she's like warning them, and like behind her, like you can see like Alexis looks kind of nervous about this whole thing, and she looks like she's like on the verge of casting a spell every few seconds. while clutching trying to stay behind Alice and just kind of hopping up and down excitedly is Liliana shouting like, "Yeah, give him one for bop him." And her older brother Isaac is just like, he's like, "This is not good. We should not be getting in a fight here. Come on."
Smartest 8-year-old I've ever met.
Yeah, Vanita's there. Vanita's gonna stand up and look at the situation.
Yeah.
And looks at this thing in the cage, and
Can you see me?
I'm assuming you can see, right?
Yeah, so you guys can see there looks like there's a little goblin girl. She's got. It looks like she's dressed in parts of a raccoon. Like it looks like she's wearing like the hide of a raccoon, including its tail.
Floofy tail.
A floofy tail.
Big floofy tail.
And you just hear her kind of groaning like.
Young gentlemen, step away from the creature. It looks quite sick. I believe you should not be touching it.
Yeah, Zelrik's gonna be like, does he recognize?
It's a goblin. It's a very sick goblin.
So, do you have any kind of healing spells or anything?
I don't.
Anybody have any
Healing spells, but I mean, I know a little bit of like
creature. You're a
medicine
creature.
and. Father's an
I didn't mean to
apothecary.
make you almost spit tape.
No.
Yeah, you know some stuff. As
Actually, it's probably too sick to do that.
as you guys are gathered about trying to make sense of this, the ambassador is like, everyone, please calm down. There's no need to get excited about this. Perhaps the little thing had something that didn't agree with her. He says, where's Don Glovelli? Is this not one of his charges? And approaching from the south, you see a very large man dressed in kind of a turquoise finery, and he is completely bald, but he's got a huge mustache, and he's got a ridiculously tiny little crown perched atop his chrome dome, and he comes sauntering up, like pushing his way through all the teenage airs and whatnot. It's like, what the crap is this? Who the hell's trying to kill my goblin?
You're a goblin.
Yeah, my goblin. I own her. She's mine.
I'm too sick to do that. I can't do that.
And running up in dismay.
At least he called me a goblin, not a gremlin.
Running up in dismay, you see another person, much more handsome and younger gentleman that Pickle recognizes as her daddy.
Oh.
It is the local hunter who keeps the butcher's shop supplied, one Raul Capone. Let me see if I've got their pictures in.
I remember Raul did a picture now.
Let's see.
Well, it looks like a certain floof kept her word.
Did I upload a picture of?
You did,
Yeah,
you did.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I've got a picture of Don Adrian Glovelli in there. He's the Viscount of this area. Oh, and if you scroll up really far, you see the picture of Raul Capone with the lake behind him. Okay. And that's in the NPCs and Notes channel. So, as... switch to a somewhat subtler song. Whoa, don't kill the speaker. It's connected with Bluetooth, but it's charging from that cord.
Gotcha.
Alright. This song isn't quite as boisterous. So, Don Glovelli and Raul Capone come face to face, and the Don is like, Raul, what are you doing here? I thought I fired your ass. He's like, and Raul's like, yeah, you did fire me. I work on my own now. You got no say in what I do. What the hell are you doing to my daughter? You big greasy slob? He says, you may not work for me anymore, but I swear to God, you don't take that tone with me, or I'm going to have my guards fill you full of holes. Ooh. And Raul says, huh, yeah, I'd like to see him try. Ain't none of them fast enough or skilled enough to get past my guard. I can put an arrow in any of these guys from 100 yards out.
A big enough crowd.
And as these guys are pretty much like nose to nose, like screaming at screaming at each other. Coming up from the opposite side are some hopefully cooler heads that may prevail. Let me see if I've got Dropbox characters.
No, so I was going to ask, how sick does this goblin appear to be?
Give me a medicine check.
If I may, I would also like Velena to kind of try to sneak past the crowd and approach the cage.
That's a 14.
14. Oh, damn it.
This pickle is about to be like, don't you touch my heckin' papa. Ow, cunbitch.
Okay. So you see this very lovely young woman that Pickle would have seen the night before coming up. Let me open it up on here so they can see it as well.
Pretty lady.
Is that the mother of the children from before?
No, that is their aunt.
Oh, the aunt. Yes. Okay.
If only Sarah were here to ogle.
Sweetest breeze that ever blew through your halls.
Yes, the sweetest breeze to ever grace your halls.
Yes. So yes, that's Karina Rowan, the princess of Kenkernak. Okay. As she saunters up, she's like, "Well, what is all the commotion about? It's too early in the day for this. We've only just finished our mimosas."
This little goblin looks like she's about to die.
She says, "Well, that's no reason to murder the rest of us with all this unsightly yelling and screaming and carrying on. Aylis, what are you doing?" And the little girl who's up in front, who keeps like basically sword fighting with the teenage human boys, who keep trying to poke Pickle like she's a frog. She turns around and protests. She says, My friend Pickle's sick, and they keep trying to poke her like she's a little frog." And you just, as she's turned around to explain this to her aunt, you feel like a stick getting jabbed into your side. And she turns around and sees that, and this time she just she faints high and then swings around and gets him right in the hamstring.
Sweet.
And the guy says, "Oh, she hit me! Little knife here hit me!" At this point, Karina and Velena are able to force their way up to the front to where they're standing right outside the cage, looking down at this poor little goblin. Velena, what did you want it to do?
So Velena's going to actually kind of curiously peer into the cage to get a better look at the little gobbo. And then seeing that they're, recognizing that they're in distress, she's going to kind of hold her hands and sort of cup it. And then she's going to produce a bouquet of flowers, and she's going to reach in and put a bouquet of flowers right next to them.
Okay, so you produce a bouquet of flowers, which you put through the bars and lay down next to the little goblin. And upon seeing this, Don Glavelli and Raoul, their eyes both kind of go wide, and in unison they're like, "She's dead?"
Twitch.
And then the two of them are back, gripping each other by the lapels, shouting at each other, shaking one another as they're yelling.
She's about to be if she doesn't get some help.
So at this point, you hear elsewhere in the town some fireworks get shot off somewhere else in the town and make a loud explosion.
Oh.
So you hear some fireworks going off elsewhere in town. Everyone else just kind of stops and is looking around, and Glavelli shouts out and says, "Guards! Arrest this man for putting his hands on me! Drag him away from here!"
Oh, I'm about to get pissed. Don't you touch my papa!
Alright. As Pickle finally starts showing some spirit, she clambers up, and you feel the pain in your stomach sort of subside, but now it's just almost feels like this kind of, it almost feels like when you get a whole body chill. How you just feel your goosebumps go up all over your arms and legs and back. You feel the little hair stand up on your neck. And your ears perk up, and you feel like you're about to blow. And as you're standing there looking all hopped up, you hear one of the little children that you hadn't spoken before. It's just this little tiny guy. He looks like he's probably about 4 or 5 years old. He's got a shock of white hair, just like his uncle Varnadil does, who you had seen the night before, and he just tugs on his father, this young elven nobleman. He tugs on his sleeves and says, "Father, why is the goblin blowing up like a balloon?"
Oh no!
And
I don't want to be a balloon.
And he says, "I'm not entirely sure, but I don't think that this is entirely safe to be around, children. Why don't we all back up and give the goblin some more space?" And sure enough, as you guys look, poor little Pickle is swelling up like a balloon inside of this cage. Give me a fortitude save.
I don't like it.
Is that right? Take a
I don't
step
like
back.
it at all. What does that say? I think that's a. Okay.
They're very hard to read.
That's a 12. What's my fortitude? Constitution?
Yeah, it should be, your Constitution. Oh, that's right. This is 5th edition, not Pathfinder.
Yeah, so that would be a 17.
A 17? You are just standing there, and you're getting like red in your cheeks and whatnot, and you're just like getting bigger and bigger inside your cage.
Horrified.
Like a freaking goblin balloon right now.
Oh, I hate that visual.
And like as you're looking around, Alice and all of her like siblings and cousins are all just kind of looking like, "Oh no, what's happened? Don't, what, Pickle? What's the matter with you? Are you gonna be okay?" And in the distance, you hear more fireworks, and they're getting closer, and you hear like this crazy music start playing.
I don't like this. I don't want to be a balloon. I'm scared.
Oh, is she blue now?
I'm a balloon. I'm a
Like
gobaloon.
Wonka.
Yeah, well, not a blueberry, but
Big
a
Trouble in Little
blueberry for a
Chinatown.
daughter.
Yeah.
All right, so
There you go.
So you hear this crazy sound coming into town, and you see this gigantic pig hauling this big caboose-looking cart, and it's got a calliope built into it that's rooting and tooting and doing pipe music. And on top of the pig, there's a young goblin boy wearing a big scarf, and he's just kind of singing along to what's going on. And as everyone looks over to see what the heck this commotion is, there's like the loudest pop that you guys hear that comes from the cage. And when you look back, the cage is empty. You don't see Pickle anymore. And everyone's like, "Ah!" And Glavelia's like, What the freak happened? My goblin blew up." And he starts fumbling in the hamburger meat and pulls out a key, and then he fumbles around with the lock that's on the cage and opens it up, and he sticks his head in and is like, "Where'd she freaking go?" And at this time, Pickle, you're not sure what all these insane humans and elves are going on about. You're looking down in the lower place. You can't see yourself anymore, but you can still feel that you're here, and you're not all swollen up or anything, and you're like, "What the hell's going on?" But the door to your cage is now open, and there's currently a gigantic Glovelli standing there. But at the moment, it appears that it doesn't look like they see you. They think that you just blew up.
I would love to launch myself off of his noggin, like, whoop, like a step and go. Whoop.
All right, give me an acrobatics check.
That's a 17 plus. Wait, what'd you say?
Acrobatics.
Acrobatics. 21.
All right. As he's looking in there, suddenly,
A foot.
suddenly it almost looks like he just headbangs on the bottom of the cage.
I do, especially like.
And he just goes boom right onto the bottom of the cage, and he's like, "Oh, what?" And then he jerks back up and hits the back of his head on the top of the cage, and it's like, "Ah!"
Can I have swiped his crown on the way?
His crown is in the process of falling off. Go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check to see if you can abscond with the crown.
I mean, I'm not trying to hide that I'm stealing it. It's just.
No, it's still tricky. It's still kind of a tricky thing to do while you're jumping
And
through
it's
the
not
air.
invisible though, right? Oh, never mind. I didn't say anything.
13?
13. Yeah. So you managed to grab the crown, and as the rest of you are watching, you see him like headbutt the floor of the cage, then like smack the back of his head off. His crown goes flying, and as he goes flying, though, it kind of goes bobbing about, almost like it's leapfrogging across the crowd before it disappears into the bushes, and then the bushes start rustling and off in another direction.
Do we notice this crown doing this funny behavior?
Yes.
Okay.
Voltan, have you been doing anything while all these shenanigans have been going on, or not?
Oh, that's just gonna sit there watching this fat, chubby aristocrat just nail himself on the ground. He's just laughing his ass off.
And his crown just bounced away.
I needed that.
So you remember hearing from Pauline about this Raoul guy, the guy that the guards are currently dragging away. But they sort of, when they see their lord and master seemingly stricken and his crown go like drifting away on the wind, like they just kind of let him go, and they're like, one runs up and is like, "Boss, Don, you okay?" Another one says, "What the fuck's up with that crown?" And he goes running after it. And the spot where the bushes are shaking as our little Gabo is running away, and it's getting right up to where Voltan is, and this guard is running over to where the bushes are shaking. Is Voltan going to intervene in any way?
I'm actually just kind of curious to see what the hell is going on. So he's not.
All right, so
he's kind of watching.
So the guard runs up, and you said you were going to like yeet the crown.
Yeet it, or if I find like a pile of any kind of animal poo,
All right, so give me a perception check.
or like manure.
Give me a perception check.
Dude.
That is a much easier way to do that. That is, you said perception?
Yes.
Oh!
So we might want to take some like silver paint and just go over the outward face of the numerals on that to make it a little bit easier to read.
Oh, it's fine. That's a natural 16.
16.
Minus 1 is 15.
All right. So yeah, you see, there's some poodoo in the lane. There have been plenty of nobles riding around here on horses and carriages. So yeah, there's.
They're a nice big pile?
Yes. So you see a nice big pile. Give me a dexterity check with your proficiency bonus to try and yeet the crown into some poo.
Oh, I was just gonna go and be like, pink.
Okay, so you run out of the bushes, and as you do, the guard lunges and tries to get the crown.
Please let me. So please get a nat 1 so you like face first and
He does not get a nat 1, but the crown zigs away from him as he tries to go, and he like stumbles after it, and he ends up, as he's going, you're running around, and the guard actually ends up running into Voltan's greaves. He runs into your knees as he's chasing after this goblin that just kind of ducked between your legs, and then like arced back around, and then just went splat and deposited the crown into a big old steaming pile of horse crap that was in the lane.
And then dove back into the bushes. I'm still invisible,
And
right?
You're still invisible. And the guard, after he runs into you, he just kind of like recoils and like falls over backwards and just like lands on his ass, feet up in the air, and he's kind of doing the turtle thing, trying to get himself back to his feet. And for his part, Raoul just kind of books it back off into the crowd, and the human teenagers are just like, they're almost all like just completely silent, like what the fuck is going on here? While the elven kids, Liliana is crying and like hugging on Alis. Isaac is just kind of like patting her head. Eiglin, the Von Era's younger brother, he sees Liliana crying and he starts crying.
Oh no!
And Von Era is just like, going there, and she's just holding a hand up, like looking at Adolf, like, what the crap is going on here?
Do I notice them crying?
It's kind of hard not to. It's kind of hard not to notice the little elf kittens crying.
I'm gonna come out.
Okay, Kelsey, are you doing anything while all these shenanigans are going down?
I think if anything, she's a little like curious of everything that's going on, and just sort of like the whole hectic scene, just kind of. She's sort of a little bit overwhelmed.
That's a good word for
at
it.
the moment. So
Yeah.
She ends up kind of. It's very weird because it almost seems like she starts to struggle a bit with keeping her own composure, but in a manner of which her hair starts to like shift into different seasons all rapidly.
Oh wow.
Until finally, like when she sees like the kids crying and everything, the flowers in her hair start to wilt and fall off, and she becomes a shade of blue.
Did nobody else see the crown go in the poop?
I mean, the chillins are all kind of short, and they.
Valentine did.
So does Benito know this guy at all?
You have never seen this man before in your life.
Well, maybe did his mom ever talk to him about
I
it?
want to stop the crying.
Did your mom ever mention Voltan or anything?
My imagination is she probably talked about all this stuff, but he was just like,
No, your mom would have never encountered Voltan before. I mean, he was also from Malatista, but well, now that I think about it, give me a history check. You too, Voltan. Give me a history check.
Oh.
Plus 2.
I have an 8.
An 8? Okay.
Yeah.
13.
13? So, well, you guys kind of notice each other, and you, Benito, you sort of do recognize this guy. You remember, like, years ago, you and some of your other young noble bullies in the city had gotten this young kid like trapped in the end of an alleyway, and were about to lay the smack dab on him when you have a holy shit moment. when the woman who appeared in your dreams the other night, when you made your pact with Zybilna, when fucking Zybilna appeared and whisked him off and away from you guys when you were trying to bully this kid.
Okay.
So this kind of, he's got kind of like a luminous complexion, but yeah, you've only ever seen that sort of luminous complexion once before, and it was that kid that you guys were bullying in Malatesta back when you were all like young teenagers.
Oh, snap.
So who was he was trying to bully?
You and some of your friends were bullying Voltan when you guys were all still children in Malatesta.
Alright.
Wow.
Voltan, you, all these noble pricks kind of look the same to you. And in light of your somewhat worse history check, you don't really pick any of them out of the crowd quite as easily. There's one kind of like young punk there among them, blonde hair pulled back in a ponytail, who looks kind of familiar to you, but you can't really place it.
I was asking, does he recognize, what's his face? The
Cordelia.
Yeah, Cordelia.
Glovelli? Yeah.
Glovelli.
Okay. Yeah, Glovelli. Yeah, that's your mom's like main business partner in this whole venture of getting the resort and the hotel and everything built.
Alright.
She actually used to complain about him a lot as being like indecisive and greedy and like not exactly a very forward thinker.
Venita is going to, he's been so crown fell, so he's going to go over and pick up the crown out of the poop, shake it off, and go say, "Dear sir, you lost your crown."
I was going to swat his hand.
Alright, so you retrieve the crown, just kind
That's even harder.
just kind of shake it off a bit and go over, and Glovelli's he's kind of like holding his front and back of his head at the same time, just kind of moaning. He's like, "Oh God, my head, it hurts so bad." And then you just kind of plop the crown on his head and says, "Oh, Benito, thanks. You did a real solid."
You're welcome, sir.
He says, "Oh, what the fuck is all this racket in my town? It sounds like fireworks are going off." And as it just so happens, fireworks have been going off this whole time. And that caboose that pulled up in the middle of town, let me see if I have a picture of this caboose for you. I think I do.
That crown is covered in something solid.
Yeah, the crown's still covered in shit.
At least the part that actually goes on the head is covered in poop. Like there was, I pushed it down, but there's probably enough of it to grab.
All right, so
I want to go soothe the elf kittens.
So he's going to look over Voltan and just scratch his head. Okay.
He put the poop crown on Glovelli.
Like a poop crown, yes.
all right, so this is a big old pig. This big old pig. I mean, this pig is almost as big as a horse, and it's pulling this huge caboose that has it's got kegs on it. It's got stained glass windows, and it has begun folding out into a stage. And on the one corner of the stage, there's a big calliope that's got pipes and like organ music going, like the same stuff that we're all hearing as players. And with it, there's like this little goblin kid who is singing all the lyrics that you're hearing.
Oh, look at him being spunky.
And there's a number of other goblins that you see as well. There is a very timid-looking lady in a mushroom cap hat. Which did I already post? Yeah. Which you recognize as Gloom.
I do anyway. None of y'all have seen them.
There's Gloom. You go over here and switch through these for you. Why is it not going?
I don't know.
Damn you, computer.
It will be
Let's see. Come on, open the picture.
Ow.
It's the power of the
Oh.
finger.
You poked me in the
That's
eye
right.
from afar.
So, okay, so there's Gloam.
Alright.
There's Emil.
No.
He's so cute.
You also see what looks like riding up on a big, stodgy-looking goat. This is Bob and Bonk.
Bob and Bunk. I gotta see this.
Alright, so let's see. Let's go back over here. So, yes, there is this big old, ferocious-looking war ram. His name is Bob. And its rider is a very rough-looking goblin wearing plate mail armor and carrying a big spear, or actually a big sword as tall as she is. And her name is Bonk.
So it's a short sword.
Yeah. And let's see, who else do we have? Oh, there's also
Nice one.
there's also Smokey.
You said it's a big sword as tall as she is. He said so it's a short sword.
Ah. And then the most impressive looking. Oh, let's see. Yeah, you need to see what Smokey looks like. Oh
I've seen Smokey.
Yeah.
no! Where is she?
Oh, we just passed somebody.
There's Smokey with her. She's got a big old musket, and she's sitting on top of the cart, just kind of keeping an eye out. And then, as the stage finishes unfolding, the fireworks come to a crescendo, and there's like sparklers that go off all around the edges of it, and like jets of red and blue rockets shoot up from it straight into the air, and there's a big billow of smoke that poofs forth. And then you see the ringleader of this madness appear, a very fancy-looking goblin with boobs as big as her head.
Oh, chilly I heard.
Yeah.
It's a tit-bit nibbly. And it is Melon, the leader of Melon's handful, and the owner of Melon's big chest, which is you see Melon's big chest in big letters on the back of the caboose.
While people are distracted, can I go soothe the elf kittens?
You can try. You have no idea how long you're going to remain invisible or whatnot.
I would just like go like.
Okay, who are you going to go up and poke? There's Alis and Alexis. They seem to be like confused, but basically okay. There's Liliana, who's still crying. Eiglin, who's Vanna Era's younger sibling, who's also crying because Lily's crying. Vanna Era just looks kind of stoic and fed up and annoyed.
Well, I think when I kaboomed, maybe some of the flowers probably are on the ground, and I'd be like, pick one up, and be like, poke, poke, poke. Liliana?
Okay, so you poke Liliana with a stem, and
Well, not with the stem, with the flower part. I just like boop her on the nose.
you boop her on the nose, and she's kind of like hugging on Alis when you do that. And
I'm trying to tickle her with it.
the flower's kind of floating there, and she opens her eyes, and she's like, "What? Who is that? You're not dead?
Nope.
Are you a ghost?
Nope.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I mean, no. Here, then we'll grab her finger. I can be like, feel real?
You feel? I don't see you, but I feel you.
Yeah, I see me either, but shh, here's a flower.
Okay.
Don't cry.
Okay. So she takes the flower and she kind of stops sniffling and whatnot, and she goes over and looks at Eiglin, and she just kind of frowns. She's like, what are you crying for? And she
I want to tickle the little one.
she goes and she's like, what are you crying for? Stop copying me. You're always copying me. And she bops him on the head with the flower.
I tickle them both.
And suddenly she's like, she just kind of squirms, and Aglan's like, ah! He just kind of shrieks and looks around. Something's hissing at me. I think there's a snake. Lily, no. And Vanna's like, would you, both of you stop? And she's like, he seems to be too distracted to notice whatever it is you're doing.
His crown's covered in poop.
I said, who said that? What's a poop crown?
Look, yeah, a poop crown.
There's all sorts of tall people like milling about in the way, just like in consternation.
The fat guy's got a poop crown.
Gross.
Yeah, you should totally laugh at him.
Only Lily laughs.
You should both.
And Lily's like, you stop! And she's like tries to tickle him now.
Pickle's gonna tickle her.
Ah, no, stop, no.
Gotta laugh at the fat guy's got a poop crown.
Ah. So
I put his crown in poop.
as you're doing this, you see the elf with the white hair come over, and he sort of kneels down, very low to your level. He says, you do realize that most of these people can't see you, but that doesn't mean that we all can't see you. You might want to take advantage of this distraction afforded by the other goblins to make yourself scarce.
Well, yeah, but I wanted to help the little stop crying.
Their children will be fine, I assure you. They've had worse.
Okay, you're cool.
Charming.
What was it? Who was that?
That was Varnadil, the very
Okay.
kind of stoic-looking
I'm sorry.
elven nobleman.
Out of character knowledge.
Kelsey knows who Varnadil is. Let me see if I have a picture of Varnadil.
Yeah, you put it in here.
Did I? Okay.
Okay, well.
You there? Yeah, you do. It is in here.
I think it was. Somewhere.
Collecting my pearls here. I'm gonna.
All right. So at this point, the stage has fully unfolded, and Melon is there, and she waves her hand, and the music stops and changes.
I'll go clear towards the main lobby behind.
Yeah.
That's a lot louder than I wanted to be.
Yes, I'll go clamber toward the caboose.
And as everyone is kind of paying attention now to this very ostentatious display that is now taking up the center of the town square, and this very brazen-looking and forward goblin, she says, you hear her now, she says, "Come one, come all. This is Melon's handful, and this is my big chest." She says, "I'm sure you." She says, "I'm sure you all would like to have a glance through my vast repertoire. So, please step right up and put a little something in my pockets." And so,
Or in your chest.
and so she says, "Everything's on sale,
Oh, okay.
but not me." So, let me paste this into Discord for you and Jacob.
So as she's coming over, so Zalric would know this, but in her current form, where she's like blue and she has a little bit of actually frost sort of forming at the tips of her hair, she just kind of mutters to herself as this goblin kind of hands out papers and stuff. And under her tone, she mutters out, "What's the point? It's all worthless anyway."
Oh no!
No, she was talking about.
No, she's sad. She's all depressy and emo.
All right. So how loud are you saying that? Are you just kind of hanging back and moping, or?
She's very, very mopey, which Zal's seen this a couple of times throughout the years that they've been together. But this is essentially her winter mood. And he knows that when she gets into this mood, she's a bit like depressive and mopey, and it's very difficult to get her out of it.
Seasonal depression.
So yeah, she just kind of mutters it to herself loud enough that that maybe this goblin can hear her, but not really loud enough for the rest to hear it.
Okay. So when you turn all white and snowy looking with your blue garb and frost tinged hair, Arvinder kind of glances over and takes note, and he says, "I see that you have seasonal depressive issues, don't you, my dear?" He says, "I've heard about this among your kind, but I wouldn't worry too much. The children will be fine, and the sun comes out again."
The sun will be out
tomorrow.
Yep.
He says, "In the meantime, I can't help but notice you giving my good friend Varnadil Iglosan a good run for the money on the dashing fair tones and wintry complexion." And Varnadil just kind of just shakes his head, and he says, "You're quite lovely, my dear. You're charmed." Which he doesn't seem to be particularly effusive or sincere in his responses, but Varnadil just kind of seems over with this whole thing. And as the nobles and whatnot are beginning to crowd around this ostentatious cart, and the kids they're as distracted by Melon's handful as they are by the consternation of the Duke wearing a poop crown, as well as they seemingly at random keep getting tickled from an invisible source.
And new flowers.
And yes. So, would anyone like to go shopping at Melon's handful? Or at Melon's big chest, rather?
I don't know what these things are. He's got a very cryptic name on things.
Yes, they are. They're all very cryptic.
Ask what they are.
Elton doesn't have any money.
Well, that's right. He doesn't have any money. Well,
We've all got money.
You guys have.
We've
Oh,
all
that's
got
right.
an account of 10 gold.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, you've got a decent amount of money on you still. Voltan probably has. He probably has no more than 5 gold pieces to his name right now. Most of the rest of you have at least some pocket money, because I don't think you've all spent your entire starting wealth yet.
While they're perusing, if I have an opportunity to pants anybody that was poking me with a stick, I'm going to do it.
Yes, actually, some of the teenage boys are kind of like they've climbed up on the wagon, and they're kind of gawking. They're like, "That goblin's got some big green titties. Like, look at them things; they're big as her head." And you come up behind one of them and give me an athletics check.
That is 19. Because that's the 13. Now that I know that I can just do that, that makes it easier.
Oh yeah. So without any difficulty, you come up behind one of the older kids. He looks like he's probably about 13 or 14. He was the one who kept trying to sword fight with Alis, who's like half his size at this point.
Yep.
But you come up right behind him and
yoink!
Yoink! And suddenly he's on display for everyone to see, and his friends just start laughing, going like, "Oh, dude, you're pitching a tent!"
That's why it was so hard for me to pull it down.
And Melon kind of glances over from where she's standing. She says, well, I see I still got it. And she kind of, everyone give me perception checks.
I think that's...
Ooh, not
No, that's a
nat 20.
Nice.
That's a 18 plus.
Do you have anything on your modifier for that, Jacob? Or
So give me a sec.
So
Perception?
22.
Yeah, I got 18 plus 4, so 22.
22?
Me?
Well, not you.
I was like,
Nope.
7.
It's straight 0, so not 20.
Okay, not 20. All right. Actually, Pickle, you can
I
go
got
ahead.
a 12.
Okay, Aaron, go ahead and give me one as well.
-1 is wait, perception?
Yes,
-1 is 17,
17.
I
Okay.
think. Yeah.
So it's all right. So anyone who got above a 15, basically, you're able to see everything just fine because there's nothing in your field of view from where you're standing between, like right behind this kid, because everything is up at attention, and it's still kind of brisk in the early morning, so everything's retracted out of your way. So you can see down there on the stage that as Melon had made that last comment about still having it, she kind of turns around, looks over her shoulder, and it sounds like she's saying something to Smokey, the goblin who's up on top of the cart with the red hair, and the goblin on top of the cart. She's like shaking her hair, and she keeps scanning the crowd before she points. She's like, she goes like this, like, and she's looking right in your direction, and you see her go. And
give him a smack
and
in the butt.
the rest of you at this point can see that the goblin, who was dressed in raccoon clothes earlier, is standing immediately behind the boy whose pants just fell down, seemingly of their own accord, before she just yeets off the cart and disappears into the bushes. Give me a stealth check.
I was going wherever she told me to go.
She was just meaning for you
Get
to
out of
get the
here.
fuck out of there.
Ooh, stealth check?
Yes.
Oh boy.
Ooh, 13 plus 4 is 17.
All right. So yeah, you just sort of like yeet yourself off the cart into the bushes, and the bushes shudder a bit as this goblin disappears into them before going still, and you're not really sure where she went to. But it looks like the goblin that exploded earlier has not actually exploded.
It's like a little goblin.
Yeah. Yes. So, upon seeing that, the goblin on top of the caboose gives word to Melon, and I was like, she just takes out a little fan and starts fanning herself. So the nobles are all kind of gathered around the cart.
She almost got caught again.
Yeah. So the goblins are all kind of, or the nobles are all kind of gathered around the cart, like checking out all these weird things, and some of them are picking them up and like asking about them. One of them, Karina, goes over and she picks up something that looks like a. She just kind of points to it. It looks almost like a horn from like a unicorn or something. It's kind of got like a spiral pattern around it, except it's kind of like blunted on the pointy end. And she says, "My dear, what is that? That looks like a unicorn's horn that's been sanded down on one end." And at that, Melon's eyes just kind of go big, and she says, "That is not for sale, my lady. I'm sorry, I don't know how that got out of there." And she just kind of picks it up and tucks it into her bodice, and it just disappears within apparently either her cleavage or an extra-dimensional space. You're not sure. She says, She says, I'm sorry, the love tusk is not for sale.
Bra holding.
She says, oh.
Yeah, I figured it out.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Not tusk love, but love tusk. One
There's a Kiss song about that if it was Love Gun.
So another one comes up, and Arbiter comes up and he picks up a bottle and he's kind of swinging around and says, "Vampire wine. This isn't just a bottle of blood, is it?" And she says, "For 5 gold sugar, I suppose you can find out." He says, "Totally worth it." And he forks her some money for the vampire wine.
Is there anything here that Anita recognizes?
Give me an Arcana check to see if any of these make sense to you.
Can I do the same?
Sure. You can too, Kelsey. If you want, you can give like a nature check if that's better for you.
I'm gonna do it in.
So, did either of them spot me running for the bushes?
12.
I believe Zolric, Venito, and Voltan all spotted it. Or they actually rolled well enough to not only spot that, they actually rolled well enough to spot the Melon and Smokey trying to communicate and glancing over in this direction. For her part, Valena, while she wouldn't have noticed that sort of clandestine conversation, she almost certainly would have noticed the young boy yelling in surprise and seeing his pallid butt cheeks there, along with the green shape behind him. So Valena would have seen Pickle as well, but she just saw the little goblin yeet itself, so she's got no idea where Pickle's gotten to.
Okay.
But
well, at least
she
she knows,
knows now that she's live.
Yeah, at least that was what I was more inquired about.
All right, so what did you guys get on your nature or arcana checks? 9?
12.
I got a 9.
9?
9.
So you're looking at some of these things, and the apple bomb looks like an actual apple, but it's got a seam in it that runs horizontally. So it looks like it's been... It also looks like, not like a real apple, it almost looks like a pottery that's been glazed and painted bright red. So you're not really sure what that could be. There's several bottles here that have very strange things printed on them. There's Baconator 5000 is written on the side of a bottle. There's a big jar that says Clown Jelly, which has a number of like red objects floating in like sort of thick syrup inside of it. Another thing that comes in a bottle is Dwarven beard oil. Another one, it comes in. It looks like a crystal. It looks like a crystal flask, and it's got like a nozzle on one side and like a little stem that comes off with a puffer ball on the end. That's eau de toilette. Sorry, eau de toilet, not eau de toilette. There's another bottle. It's clear glass and it's filled with a white liquid with a cork on the top, and that's labeled as Frost Troll's milk.
Scary.
There's a long thin vial about like this, and the tag on that indicates that it's glowing goop. There's another smaller bottle, probably no bigger than like the size of your thumb or maybe an index finger, and it's labeled as Hero Sweat, and it's got like little hearts and whatnot on the bottle. There are some little cones of incense. Some of them are labeled as cotton candy. Others are labeled as sprouts. There's a box with a lid on it. That's labeled just desserts. Let's see. Let me check.
Is that supposed to be portable campfire versus potable?
Potable.
Potable.
No, it's potable, not portable.
Okay, potable. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, potable, but yeah, okay. Yeah.
Let's see here. The Kelpie marrow. It's a basket full of looks like little pieces of wax paper that have been wrapped around like small balls or wafers of some sort.
Is this ringing the bell to anybody?
It's all nonsense items.
Alright.
Snake oil salesman.
Alright.
So you see another thing.
Hey, it might actually work. You don't know.
You see another thing that one of the children is picking up and looking at. It's a stick about maybe 2 feet long, and lashed to one end of it is a frog.
Oh,
Frog on a stick.
no mistake.
And it is labeled as a lick toad. There's
Cricket would be proud.
a very special item which has is in a gold cage that seems to have sparkles continuously raining down around it. You see a what looks like a glowing golden apple right up near the back of the stage in a fairly well protected spot, and looks like it's levitating inside of this like golden cage, and it says Melon's Magic Apple. Some of the other things here is there's another small vial that looks like it's got a dropper in it called Naughty Water. There's a burlap bag that's got a ribbon tied around it like a drawstring, and it's labeled as Oni repellent. There's another jar that doesn't seem to have anything inside of it, but it almost looks like an oil can. And if you pick it up and move it, you can hear stuff sloshing around it, but it looks like it's empty. And that's labeled as pixie oil. Another thing you see is it looks like a whiskey flask, but it's labeled as potable campfire. You see a small jar with a round lid on it, called Quicksilver. Another bizarre option that is kind of hanging from one of the from the canopy. It looks like a pair of big clown's shoes that are at opposite ends of kind of like a round hub in the middle, and the round hub has like a stick going out from either side of it, and there's a shoe on the end of either side, and it's called running shoes. You see another item, it's another kind of round jar called Slime Consolidate.
I don't know where that came from.
There's a butter churn at one end of the stage, and there's some packages resting by it labeled steak butter. Another special item. There's a collection of about like 3 or 4 of these. They're little silver spoons, like sort of spoons you'd expect to use to like feed a baby that's teething, and they're labeled as taste tester spoons. There's also a bag of what looks like alfalfa sprouts or something, and it branded on the front of it on this big sack. It reads Utter Chaos.
UDDER.
Utter Chaos. And in very small words below that it says for farm use only. The vampire wine's already been purchased. The winter berries. It looks like a small tin like this that's been subdivided inside, and it's got a number of. They look like blueberries, except they're white and kind of crystalline looking. There's a big barrel. It looks like it contains a whole bunch of fireworks, and it's labeled explosive runes. Another she has several bottles that are labeled youth cream.
Oh no.
And then the last item that she has, and there's quite a number of people who are. This seems to be flying off the shelves. It's called. It's got a picture of one of those wands that you used for honey on it, where it's kind of got like the little beehive looking thing on one end of the stick. It's got a picture of that on it over like a big flagon, and it's just listed. The label on these bottles says Zorgorber's Marvelous Mead.
Thick enough to use a honey dipper.
Yeah. Yeah. So I believe, I don't know if there's anything I missed on that, but
I don't think so.
Nope, you got everything.
but that's the visual description of all the items for sale.
I think the only one we don't have is Bud Light.
Oh, Bud Light. She has a number of these too. It looks like she has a number of candles. They've kind of got they're kind of clearish white, but they've got bits of green, look like plant matter possibly, that's embedded in the candles.
Oh.
That's Bud Light. And as everyone's perusing, she says, "You don't have to be rich to afford all this stuff, but it sure doesn't hurt. Go ahead and give me your best offer. We'll see if we can make a deal."
I don't know what would want.
Can't think of anything.
I won't.
I'm in the bushes.
You're in the bushes. Well, while you're in the bushes, at a certain point, you as you're squatting in the bushes, you see another little goblin face appear right in front of yours.
Hey! Oh, right. What are you doing?
Hi, what are you doing?
Wonder why you're hiding instead of getting in the back of the caboose.
That's where I was going, but then they're head that way.
Why'd you take so long?
Oh, what?
And you can see that this is the little boy goblin.
The little kids were crying because they thought I exploded.
Wait, they cared?
Yeah, the
Oh.
elf ones. They're nice.
Oh, well, they've also got pointy ears. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, the human ones kind of just smell bad.
yeah. I pantsed one of them.
I saw that. Why was this thing sticking up like that?
You don't want to know.
Oh, okay. Anyway, here. And he just puts a big burlap bag over your head.
Okay.
And he says, come with me. And you guys go moving through the bushes. Of course, you can't see now that you've got a big bag on your head. So you keep...
Hold it. Poke, poke.
All right, so you look like a little tiny, 2-foot tall ghost now in a brown bag, wandering around. And give me a stealth check, and I will allow him to aid you on the stealth.
14 plus 4, 18. And you said you want me to go again?
You said
Yep.
18.
Because he's helping you, so you're rolling with advantage.
Oh, that's a 10. So, 18 and 14, so 18.
Okay, so you get to the edge of the bushes, and he says, "Just hold on a second." And you can hear the sound of big people's footsteps going all over the place. And just as some walk past you, he says, "Okay, now." And you guys hustle out there, and he's like, "Okay, stop." And you can feel legs kind of moving alongside you and brushing the edges of the bag. And it's just "Okay," and you run over, and he says, "Okay, under here." And he just kind of pushes you under the caboose, and you get on there in the ground under it. And you guys are on cobblestones right now, so it's not exactly as soft. But once you're down there underneath the caboose, he says, "Okay, just a second. I'm going to get the trap door open." "No, stop sneezing. Oh, take it off." And he's fumbling around with the underside of the caboose, and he says, and it just kind of swings down. And give me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, okay. It's a little better than I thought it was. I thought it was a 2, but it's a 7. Dexterity saving throw?
Yes.
9.
Wham! The trap door in the bottom of the caboose swings wide, and he says, "Oh no, not again!" And it whacks you right in the forehead, and like lays you out on the pavement. And he says, "Sorry, I always forget what side the hinges are on."
It's okay. Oh.
And as you're down there, like stars rolling, you see a green hand just kind of reach down from the inside of it and grab the sack, and this husky voice says, "Really would be nice if you could quit making so much noise and take things seriously for a second." And it just kind of hoists you up inside of the cart before closing the door behind it. And when you get inside the cart, you can see that there's kind of frosted glass that looks out from behind out onto the stage. So it must be, from the outside, it looked like it was just like a solid back wall, but in here it's like a one-way wall where you can actually see back out. And you see Bonk, that real burly-looking lady goblin in all the armor. She's just kind of standing in here, like keeping an eye on the crowd outside. And she says, "We're going through a lot of trouble to get you out of this mess."
Cool, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. I don't know what just makes you so special. But try and show a little gratitude, maybe.
You tired or something?
No, I always sound like this.
Okay, well, you're making me tired.
I'm not tired. I got an injury to the throat back in the war a few years ago.
Oh.
Yeah, quite healed up properly. Anyway, so I think it's 11:30 now. So if you guys want to mull over what items from Melon's handful, but from Melon's big chest, you would like to purchase before we proceed with the quest, you guys can decide that. But I think this is probably a good time to wrap it up.
So we ask Miss Melon.
Yes.
What the items are. Does she give any explanation?
She says, "What do you want to ask me about, sugar?"
I like her.
Can you tell me more about this apple bomb?
She says, "Oh, well, you certainly want to make sure you don't go dropping that on any hard surfaces. Be a real shame to drop the apple bomb."
You're gonna pick up the lick toad. Look at the little.
Don't.
Can you explain this?
He says, "Well, if you're having a bad time because you ate something you didn't really mean to, or somebody tried feeding you something that was bound to do you in, you can give the little toad a lick and it should help you start feeling better.
Oh.
Mind you, there may be some hallucinatory side effects, but at least you won't die."
Oh, yeah. I've heard about these before.
Anything else you're interested in here? She just kind of shifts her hips and...
So, we've learned that the apple bomb is an actual theoretical bomb.
Sounds like a bomb.
Well, she said that it should not be dropped on any hard surfaces because that could lead to problems.
And that the lick toad, if you eat something that disagrees with you or some...
We get poison in some way.
You lick it and you'll feel better.
Yeah.
But you might hallucinate.
You might hallucinate afterwards.
Explosive runes.
She says, "Oh, well, those are fireworks. It's a little play on word. You see, there's this spell that, well, I suppose that wouldn't interest you at all." Jacob, Kelsey, did you have questions about any of these interesting objects? If you guys
No.
are drawing any closer to the stage or whatnot.
No, I think Belton's kind of sitting back, just kind of.
And Winterberry?
It's just like, yeah, this is like a snake salesman.
Okay.
Snake oil.
I think Valena's having a midlife crisis.
Aw.
Well, you saw that I didn't die.
Her emotions have been yanked all over the place. You were there, and then
Yeah.
you blew up, and the children were crying, and then you were back, and then there was a butt. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Oh, I feel bad.
I'm kind of picturing her as being like all 4 seasons all at once right now, and kind of like Neapolitan ice cream. And
Oh, like what's her noodle from Encanto when she like starts being all chaos flower. The perfect sister.
Sorry. What is naughty water?
Yeah, she's kind of absorbed all that, so she's a little bit going through a bit much right now.
I'll be your girl for all
She says-
seasons.
she says, "Oh, the naughty one." She says, I thought you might ask about that. That's I happened to draw that from a nymph's pool while she was being entertained by a satyr."
Ooh. Naughty water indeed. I
And
ain't there.
it has a tingly sensation. And if you add it to your bath, it kind of bubbles.
Oh, yeah.
What do Winterberries do?
She
What's
says,
special about them?
She says, "Oh, those are wonderful." She says, "You take one of these little berries, add it to your drink. That'll keep it cool and frosty."
Ooh. I'm not there, but I want that.
Just don't drop it down your blouse.
Speaking of dropping things down your blouse,
Ooh.
what is with the love tusk?
Oh, she says, she kind of narrows her eyes and she says, I already told the lady over there that's not for sale. And that's not any of your business.
Sounds like something you should enjoy on your own.
I know what that
Yes, I think I will. As you guys are wondering, one of the nobles, a human nobleman, says, "My dear, what is that magic apple in the gold cage back there?"
Oh,
At which point Melon says, "Why, my dear, that magic apple that you're looking at is from the legendary Gulthias tree." She says, "Someone, no matter how ill someone is, as long as their heart still beats, feed them that apple, and all their ailments will disappear. Will feel right as rain. Just don't eat the seeds."
Why does it eat the seeds?
You don't want to find out.
Cure all of the poison all in one apple.
It says, "Do you normally eat apple seeds?"
Apples are a little too healthy for my taste.
Yes.
You'll want the steak better.
So some of the nobles start going back and forth. One of them casts a spell, and they start muttering to each other. And then they start bidding on the apple. 10 gold pieces, they get laughed off. 20, no, try a bit better. 50, it's like, well, that's more in the ballpark. And eventually, they start bidding back and forth between about 5 or 6 of these nobles before she ends up pocketing about 120 platinum pieces.
Ooh.
And she goes and hands it over, opens the cage and says, "It's all yours, my lord."
Who took it?
It was one of the human noblemen.
Don't get a name for the noble one?
No.
Sir, no name.
You don't recognize him. He must be a lackey from some other court. So Don Glavelli looks kind of annoyed by this whole thing. He says, "Where are my frickin' taxes?" He says, "You're all up into my town selling all this stuff. They've been like crazy over here. Where are my taxes?"
Says the guy with the poop crown.
And as he's raising a commotion, some of the others are just kind of like fanning themselves, holding up kerchiefs, and it's like, my word, Don Cordelia, you positively reek, sir. Where are your manners? And as he's talking, you can kind of see like some of it starting to dribble down the side of his face, Rudy Giuliani hair dye style. And he's like, "What are you talking about? I paid just this week."
What can I say except you're welcome?
So the show with Melon's big chest ends up continuing on until it starts getting dim outside. Eventually, they end up packing it in for the night, though they do remain in town, and some of the nobles seem to be rather entertained by this unlikely group of vagabond merchants, and invite them into the bar in the hotel for drinks and whatnot. As darkness begins to fall over the town, eventually Feline does manage to hook Voltan up with some food, albeit it's closer to dinner time by the time he finally manages to get his brunch on. But it's late in the day when at the edges of town, you guys notice that there's where it should be getting dark. It seems like it's starting to get a lot brighter over towards the edges of town on the north side, and seems kind of curious. And that's when you hear people on the outskirts of town shouting, "Fire! Fire!" And that is where we will pick up next time.
Oh, snap.
All right. So like I said, if there are any items from Melon's big chest that any of you would like to purchase, we can handle that during downtime in Discord over the next week or two before we next play. So.
And the person that we're supposed to find in town was Landry. Did we already say that?
Well, you weren't supposed to find him.
It was
just...
him. It was just mentioned that he was Madric's
Yeah,
companion.
Madrick was like, "Hey, if you see him, tell him I said hi."
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should probably say that.
Oh, did you say what Quicksilver was?
When you ask about Quicksilver, she says, "Well, that's some very special paint. It will paint on literally anything and dries instantly, and it is high visibility." It's indelible.
Where did the little box go?
And slime consolidate?
She says, "It might be best if I let my son demonstrate that." She says, "Emil, why don't you demonstrate this slime consolidate to this very tall, dark, and handsome elf?" She says, "Oh boy, you bet." And he pulls himself out from under the caboose, where you're not sure why he was under the caboose. He pulls himself up and hops up on stage, and he's like, and he reaches into this big jar that's like, it's a big pot, like about the size of a chamber pot. But he reaches in, grabs some of it, and pulls it out, and it's kind of stretchy as he pulls it out before it just snaps. And it's kind of this grayish, greenish color, and he molds it into a ball, and he presses it up against his face, and then when he pulls it off, you can see that it's got the impression of his face on it. And then he pushes it up against the side of the cart, and then like the glass, the one-way mirror, and then pulls it back off, and you can see it's left the impression of his face on there. And he says, "And that's not all." And then he wads it up into a ball again, and he throws it on the ground on the stage, and this shit super balls like 30, 40 feet up into the air, and he says, "I got it! I got it!"
I don't got it.
and as he's doing so, he runs right into your legs and trips over them and falls on the ground, and it bounces again and keeps ricocheting all over the place until it's like gone out of sight somewhere down another alley. And she says, so that's what slime facade does.
I see.
It's great for children. Keeps them occupied for literally minutes. Literally minutes. So, are there any other items that you guys wish to ask about before we close up shop here? Kelsey, Jacob?
I can't think of anything.
No?
Nah. I felt like she was more of a snake salesman.
You don't think any of it's real?
Let's be honest. Both time where he lived, he's not going to be swindled.
The snake oil salesman indeed.
He holds on to his money.
All 2 copper pieces of it. Okay. Alrighty.
So what's the average price for these things?
They vary. Some of them are as little as a gold piece. Others range up to about 10, depending.
Okay.
The more useful they are, the more expensive they tend to be.
So, apple bomb?
The apple bomb, and she's got a number of them. They're packaged individually in hay and spaced fairly wide apart for the size of the box that they're in. But the apple bomb is about 2 gold pieces per bomb.
Apple bomb, please.
Right. Are we finished up?
I think we are. I think that's been enough insanity and shenanigans for one night.
Oh yeah.
Shenanigans.
Poop ground. Love the poop.
Shenanigans.
Poop ground.
You're welcome.
Pickle in the bush.
Pickle in the bush. I was initially just gonna throw it, but then I was like, wait, poop. That's what she would want to do.
One pickle in the hand is worth 2 in the bush.
I would call her a chaos gremlin, but she's going, I'm not a gremlin!
Yeah.
Chaos goblin.
Indeed.
Alright, well, I'm gonna get going. Happy birthday, Aaron.
Thank you.
Hope you feel better, Mama to be.
Happy birthday, Aaron.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
But Kelsey, congratulations.
Thank you. See you all next week.
All right, see you then.
Yes.
Night, guys.
Good night.
Night.